just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from this height. Now with you, now with you, that I get when looking down from this height.
The calm before the storm. Things aren't as they were before. You best start bracing. Did you think you could keep us out? Shut the gates, forget us now. Tides are changing. Can you hear the sound? Can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Can you hear the sound? can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Can you hear the sound? We're the revolution. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DZG stream as we bring you DZG Elysium versus the Collective Calamity. We're heading right into draft now, and I'm Chase, joined here by Zexel. Once again, Zexel, how you doing?
Doing pretty good tonight. I've been just looking through these teams, and over on the red side, they get Blitzcrank banned every single game.
Well, let's see if it happens again here as DZG take off Trundle, and they go ahead and take away the Jinx here from Silent Elements, who will actually be playing AD carry tonight. So, a couple few roster changes tonight for DZG Elysium. We have Leo the Sexy Lion coming into the top lane. Symphonic slot onion from the coach position to the jungle, Silent Elements moving into the AD carry position, and Magfries moving into support coming in from DZG Arcadia. As that Blitzcrank band is joined with a Zeri band from Elysium, and the Janna band joins the table alongside that Jinx. So, what are some of the big things that you're hoping to see in this draft here, XL?
Yeah, a lot of focus for both these teams I'm seeing is the ADC. Yeah, I do get that Elysium has a little bit roster swap, so it might make it a bit harder for them to play through that. But actually, the Hecarim first pick is a very strong pick, and it builds into both a forceful attack comp. I mean, or they could even play and they could have Hecarim be just a frontliner.
Certainly, and putting Symphonic on some comfort pick as he's coming in for the team. And then also, I feel Hecarim's just one of those picks that really a team identity can be completely built around. And we see the answer coming in with a Skarner and the Jhin from the side of Collective Calamity. How do you feel about that matchup in the jungle?
Yeah, I think that the matchup is a bit Hecarim favored. Obviously, he's going to win out most of the time unless Skarner gets really good CC and is able to get his team to follow up. But I do actually like the Skarner combined with the Jhin because lets them have a lot of like layered on CC even with only the ADC and jungle picked. And in that bot lane, the matchup actually is looking to be the Ashe. I wasn't really expecting that, but it is very good at stopping the engage, so I do like it in that regard.
Another thing that I love to see is that enchanted crystal arrow going right down the gullet of Jhin as he opens up his curtain call. So that's always a fun little bit of counterplay there. But Ashe CC coming in pretty clutch there to line up a lot of stuff, as we will see Magpie's Thresh joining that Ashe in the bot lane. So hopefully the volley comes in and Thresh is able to land some death sentences easier. So we are now seeing the Nautilus, and if that is picked, how you feeling about this 2v2 matchup in the bot lane?
That is quite a lot of utility down in the bot lane. I do think that Nautilus's pressure is a lot more instantaneous, but the peel out of Thresh can just not be touched.
Absolutely, and the Lantern coming in to really offer some teammates some safety if they ever get themselves in a little bit of a tricky situation, or also just using it for vision itself is always a fantastic use of that ability. But now we're getting into the second round of bans here, as both sides haven't shown any solo laners here. So we are going to see a Silas instant. Yeah, we'll be locked in for the ban here. So what are some of the solo lanes that you're hoping to see here?
I have been seeing that CC's mid laners actually been picking the Diana mid quite a lot recently. I don't know if they were preparing for stealing it away in this match, but they have been practicing it, and it could be a pick that they could look for with a style of comp that they're looking for a lot of CC and instant burst damage onto one target. But the Corki does get banned, so they don't want to go Victor Corki, which is really nice to see out of DZG.
Certainly. And that package can come in and just do monumental work, and looks like it will be maybe an Orianna joining the table, which Hecarim Orianna is a really good ball delivery combination there, if able to be paired up. But if they do end up opting to steal away that Diana, I know Gopamine loves to play that champion. He loves to have that all-in potential, and joined with a dive buddy like Hecarim would be fantastic to watch. So last ban now looking for DZG here, and if these last three have been any sort of indication, then we should expect to see another mid lane ban coming out. 1 second remaining, and it will be the Victor. So they don't want to give either the Victor or the over. So
yeah,
something you commented on for sure.
Yeah, it does not look like DZG is wanting to play the play safe scale mid lane game. They want some action and they want to see some brawls out here. I would expect a Diana actually fitting very well into DZG's comp, but the Vex actually being a very good like early counter pick if you're expecting the Diana.
Well, it will be the Vex coming in here, which has been a very contested pick ever since she's been released. And what do you think would be a good answer into that Vex here, as DZG had their next two picks coming?
I think it's very hard for them to prepare anything into the Vex. I've been seeing Gopamine even playing something like the Kennen could come out here.
Well, we saw him
Nico
break out
gets
this
locked in.
2 weeks ago, and it looked really nice. We did see that champion coming in for Gopamine. Now it's going to be the blind pick top lane here, and kind of just looking at this comp, they have the engage tools. Maybe a little bit more of a frontline would be beneficial here for the side of DZG as the time starts ticking away. I think they've got plenty of engage. Just really want to see what they're going to lock in here for this last pick. And wow, okay, it's going to be a Jack.
That is a split push menace up there in the top lane, but it is blind pick. You don't really know what to expect here. I don't know exactly how well will Nico into Vex but from my experience of seeing the matchup, I think that Nico's a bit behind just because range standpoint is a bit
Sure.
hard for her. Vex is basically an artillery mage that has very good all-in potential, which is not what Nico likes.
Right.
So I'm a bit like I don't know about that matchup. And up top lane, they actually picked the Gangplank to go into the Jax.
Interesting. So they're kind of answering a little bit of that split push with the split push. And just kind of a little bit of my thoughts on this. I feel like it's a little bit of a skill matchup, especially in the gold leagues when uh, you see most silver to gold top laners. Their barrel chains are typically lackluster, so unless the first DT is able to pilot this champion to a higher level of play than the rank might suggest, um, it should be Jack's favorite in my opinion. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do agree with that, unless the first DT is a Gangplank one trick, which I don't think I'm seeing that. They play a little bit of Gangplank from what I'm seeing, but I don't think they're much of a one trick. So I don't think they're going to be pulling off, the one pars over and over again. And I think that Jax is just going to be able to get onto GP, and he's never going to be able to get away.
Certainly. Well, we are now getting into the actual pick bans in client here, but it will be DZG rolling with a Jax in the top lane, Hackeram in the jungle, Nico mid lane, Ashe and Thresh for your bot lane, whereas the side of Collective Calamity is going to have Gangplank in the top lane, Skarner in the jungle, Vex mid lane, joined with Jhin Nautilus in the bot lane. So we see both team comps. Hopefully getting a little bit of an idea of how each team wants to play around these team comps. But now you're seeing both of them, XL. Who do you really want to give the coin toss to? Who do you think's gonna, just from a draft perspective, who do you feel came out on top?
Yeah, I think if I'm looking at it just from a draft perspective, I think that we have to take into account that on DZG's side, we have to like have them make something out of this team fight with their with big ultimates like the Ashe ultimate, the Nico, and the Hecarim just being in the team fight. They need to be able to win the 4v5 or the 4v4 with the Gangplank ult piling on top of them, making it practically a 4v5. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that up against the lockdown from CC's comp.
Certainly, there's definitely a lot of options, and the amount of CC in this game is absolutely insane. From the side of DZG, literally every single person is packing almost some form of hard CC. Um, Jax being a little situational just because Counter Strike is a little situational. But then again, Jax should never really be involved in the team fight. And the same almost goes through for the side of Collective Calamity, with the exception of Gangplank not really having any hard CC in his kit. So it's definitely a lot of utility picks in this game. But I think it's really going to boil down to how these top laners want to navigate their lane states, how they want to try to apply pressure, and how the rest of the team is able to play around with that. But so you talked about some of the win conditions, and not necessarily the win conditions, but how you expect to see each team play around. What are some of the big things that you're going to be looking for either of these jungles to really do in the early game, moving into the mid game?
I mean, early game, we want to see the Hecarim look top lane and get Jax just set off ahead, get him rolling through this lane. I think if Jax is set off with like one kill, 2 kills, I think that that's going to be free for him in the top lane, and then they're going to be able to take the 4v4. Even with the Gangplank ult on top, it's not going to do enough.
Fair
But
enough.
on the side of CC, we want to see this Nautilus Jhin lock down the Ashe or even the Thresh, because early game we're expecting the Thresh normally to have Glacial. Uh, as of recently, early game the Thresh is not going to be that tanky. I'd like to see them command and just take over that bot lane. They just need to take out one of their champions and just take the kill and back off. They can't greed, they can't overstay. They just need to take what they can get. And if they can get this Jhin far enough ahead against the Ashe, I think it's just going to be over from that bot lane in the team fight.
Well, you heard it from Zexel, ladies and gentlemen, on things that he wants to see coming out of these two teams. But now we are going to be heading into our spectator delay. DZG Elysium will be taking on Collective Calamity in Game 1 that we'll be bringing to you shortly. But first, ladies and gentlemen, we are still being sponsored by Buff. Go ahead and click the link in the chat whenever it pops up here in just a moment, and go ahead and download that. Get paid to play some of your favorite games, Apex Legends, League of Legends. So go ahead, download it, and yeah, help support the DZG stream and the DZG community, because it definitely goes a long way and helps us keep the lights on around here. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be bringing you Game 1 very shortly. Hang tight as we head into our quick spectator delay.
No room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up, babe. Tonight we gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the game as we have DZG Elysium on the blue side taking on Collective Calamity on the red side. Collective Calamity all heading down here onto the bot side. Might be looking for something a little cheeky as DZG looks to be answering with a 4-man rush on the bot side. But Leo the Sexy Lion just doing his Jack's things already and not sticking with the team. So let's see what happens here as we see this 5-man stack start moving up, and it will be the Bully leading the charge here in Symphonic and the front line. The Bully is now being the target here. We're seeing a lot of damage now go out, and it will be First Blood going over to the Skarner here, as it will be Symphonic following Max Freeze, jumps over the jumps over the Dragon Pit wall, and First DT is running her down on this Thresh. She's doing everything that she can to get away, but I do not know if it will be enough. One auto attack coming in, and I think that he should have access to the parlay, and it will be a tower shot that takes down the Thresh. 2 quick kills going over to Collective Calamity and DZG. That is not how you want to start things. So, Zexo, hey man, didn't get a chance to have you give some early thoughts here, but what do you think about that?
That is a very solid start for the GP up in top lane to get him out of this rut that we expect the Jax lane to be. It does look like Skarner is starting top, which would mean that he's going into the Jhin lane as well, which I do like the boot start up against the Ashe. It's very, very helpful when trying to sidestep these skill shots.
So, one thing that I'm not entirely sure of what was happening here is we saw the entire DZG squad go into the bush. It's like they knew that it was coming. Yet Leo on the Jax went up top side and kind of didn't join the team. Now I'm not sure if that was just team not communicating clearly what they wanted to do, or maybe they felt confident with just the 4 people. But do you think that would have gone differently if Jax had them?
I think that last second Jax could have went Counter-Strike and gotten a 5-man stun.
Certainly.
I think that could have changed the fight quite a bit.
Well, one of the things that you were talking about in the draft, and as we saw both rosters here, we were seeing a little bit of action here as the hook will connect onto Silent Elements. Damage going out now as it was followed up by the Jhin W. Now Silent Elements doing everything he can to trade back damage. They're looking to get some more damage onto Travis here, but he uses the bush to great advantage and will dodge out. 4-shot coming in, Max taking a lot of damage there, but fairly equal trade overall, except it was the flash burn there. I'm sorry, the heal burn, rather, for Silent Elements, and it does look like they got a little bit out of Travis there. But kind of going back into it, you were talking about the, Jax getting ahead. Now, Gangplank coming up here with a kill and an assist. How hard of an uphill battle do you think this is going to be for Leo?
I think since Gangplank didn't actually get the reset, it's going to be a bit easy here, as we see they're into the gank already.
Uh-oh. Yeah, but it will be the Hecarim coming in, Symphonic piloting this champion, and First ET is doing everything that he can to get away, but I don't think it'll be enough. And Symphonic grabs the kill on this Hecarim onto the First ET. DZG strikes back in the early.
Yeah, I do like Symphonic actually punishing, since the GP had to force out his flash in order to chase down that kill into the mid lane tower at level 1.
Well, Cooper comes here in the mid lane to try to give us a little something on Gopamine, but will not be able to find anything, as Gopamine still has access to his summoners and should feel relatively safe in this lane, and doing everything that he can to dodge out on this damage coming in from Vex, and maybe Hecarim might be able to find something. He was pinged out, but he is still here. Ghost popped. He does, and it will actually be the flash coming out of Vex. Well timed. Didn't even get the displacement on the opposite end of that flash, as the devastating charge did come through. So, a lot of jungle action that we're getting here early, Zexo.
Yeah, I'm really liking Symphonic's pathing. There's so much action coming out of the Hecarim in this early game, which is exactly what we need to see out of him.
Certainly, and we are now seeing some pings here coming on to just the bot lane camps. As Leo the Sexy Lion getting a little low here, and opts to turn back around, gets the auto attack. One more should do it, and First CT might look to get this barrel chain off, but it will not be enough. He pops a couple of potions, but that gank was huge for Symphonic. He pops the counter strike, goes in, gets the damage out. One more auto attack, and it will be Leo the Sexy Lion taking down First DT and the solo kill, and we love to see that, Zexo.
That is exactly what we want to see out of the Jax here in the top lane. Taking the 1v1, flashing. I mean, I think that he was still hit by the barrel, but it didn't matter in the end.
Certainly, and I was just about to make the comment that gank that Symphonic delivered in the top lane was enough to get the Jax rolling, the CS advantage, and the pressure advantage. But now that he's able to get solo kills as well, this CS lead is, I expect it to grow out here a little bit. Gangplank will be able to come back and clean up this wave a little bit, but Hey, that gets Jax in this game quite well, as DZG have equalized the kill score and also equalized the gold from that little bit of level 1 missing, we'll call it.
Yeah, that top lane is going very hard in Jax's favor already. We can see he's looking to pick up the Blade of the Rune King, I'm assuming, first item, which is just gonna keep him on top of that GP all game long.
Certainly, and we do see the Gangplank picking up the Sheen, which is a decent power spike for him as well. But now Drake is going to be on the table for both teams to look at. It is going to be an Ocean Drake starting off this game, which is always one of my favorite as a laner to get. If I'm able to get that early on, that sustain coming in is always nice. And yeah, we're just seeing some of those trade patterns up there. Vex walking down here a little bit to establish some vision control around this objective and clean up some of that vision in the river as well. And yeah, Leo, the sexy lion, just punishing Gangplank. And he doesn't even really react with a parlay of his own. So definitely a lot of things going here in the early game.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of pressure come out of DZG right now. They're actually making a lot. I mean, they're even looking to go down towards bot side, just like the Nico, and Jax is just forcing the Gangplank in their tower.
Certainly. Oh, and that is a great trade coming out of Gopamine here onto Vex, who did look like they popped the ultimate here that will not be available if now they want to look for this the Drake for the side of DZG. And Gopamine, he amazing patience there, as he didn't even pop the ultimate to try to get the damage in. Maybe he knew that Skarner was around in the area and didn't want to opt to take the potential 1v1 just in case it turned into a 2v1. So Gopamine just outplaying without even having to pop the ultimate there is fantastic to see coming out of DZG's mid laner.
Yeah, some really nice patience coming out of the mid laner over here on DZG. But it does look like
that will be a flash forward. The bully going on to Max Rise, and Cooper will be down here as well. Max taking a lot of damage, forced to flash over the wall, but Cooper follows up with a flash of his own. Distance lands, but will it be enough to dissuade the aggression? RSN Travis looking to get over this wall here, but it will not be enough. As Max is going to survive the 3v1 with a well-placed flash and a beautiful Distance to buy herself some room. But it will be the side of Collective Calamity starting up this Drake, knowing that they definitely have the numbers advantage, as it will be Gopamine's Nico taking recall. Max is forced to recall herself down in the bot lane. That will be first Drake going over to the side of Collective Calamity. They didn't get the kill. They got themselves the objective.
Yeah, I did think it looked like CB Cooper was trying to hold that kill for Travis on the Jhin, which, to be fair, I don't think it was fully Cooper's fault for the kill not going through. I think Travis might have misplaced the W, but it does end up not getting the kill in the end, which means that could have just been better that Skarner got it.
Certainly, and KS stands for kill secured, right, instead of kill steal. So in that case, if it's not a guaranteed deal, go ahead and just take it. As Gopamine here did interrupt Alor 25 underneath the tower, and just able to do whatever he wants in this lane due to the fact that he pretty much attacked Vex's mana bar. Vex has no mana and is forced to recall, and Gopamine here should be able to get a plate. And actually, Alor's sticking around, might be looking to call on Skarner to help relieve some of this pressure, as I do not think this Vex wants to give over a tower plate.
Yeah, some very good vision placement out of Gopamine, knowing that the Skarner's just taking the Raptors, being prepared for the gank right after.
Well, it will be DZG now up here getting the solo kill, as Gopamine just disrespects Alor 25 under the tower and says, you know what, you have no mana, you can't do anything to me, and he just lands everything and the kitchen sink. Magpie's up here now with Symphonic to start this Rift Herald, and it's going to be Silent Elements doing his best to survive down here in the 2v1 while they get this objective. But Jax goes in. He doesn't know Cooper is here. Cooper is now moving up. The side of DZG are now seeing Magpie's up to maybe help Leo out here, but will be in time, as we also see Dopamine rotating up. Leo, the sexy lion, putting on the fancy feet, grabs a lantern and does get out to safety. And I think DZG still have the Herald aggroed as well, so they should be able to get this. But it will be a Kurt call coming down here, and Silent Elements very healthy and just killing under towers, though. A lot of things happening all across the Rift here, but DZG definitely coming out on top of that play, as this gold lead is now extended to 2K.
That, I will say, that was some very fancy footwork out of Leo, going in and then hopping back over the bush, just dodging out on the Skarner the whole time. That was very unlucky for them over on red
Absolutely.
side.
And now, taking another quick peek at this top lane, it's going to be Jack sitting on 76 CS compared to the Gangplank's 36. And I know Gangplank gets a little bit more out of the parlay in his passive, but I don't think it's enough to overcome that amount of gold or a CS deficit here. As Mags joins Silent Elements back down here in the bot lane, and Silent Elements doing his best and to survive and also not take a CS deficit here, or too heavy of a CS deficit here, as Enchanted Crystal Arrow will look up and it will actually not connect on, I think Vex was the target there. But, the fact that he's able to stay stable in this lane and not die, I feel is well played by Silent Elements. As we are seeing another gank coming in, Symphonic looking up here on the first CT, a lot of damage coming out, and it will be Symphonic dying to the tower, and it will be Jax picking up the kill onto the Gangplank in return. So could have been a little bit cleaner there. I think Symphonic took that tower a lot longer than he intended. But hey, give Jax some time to split push out. I still think this is worth for this side of DZG's XL.
Yeah, I think that was actually really nice.
No, and it will be more action coming out as Vex is now here on the bot side, and it will be the Bully picking up the kill on Silent Elements. Bully still has tower aggro. Silent Elements getting the return kill here. Magpie's now needs to do everything she can to stay alive in this, as it will be Symphonic coming down. Just kidding, that's a dopamine. Death sentence lands. Dopamine gets the kill on CB Cooper. DZG with 2 quick kills on this tower dive coming out from the side of Collective Calamity. And now Alor is in between a rock and a hard place. Max goes gold, damage coming out, but gold did not last long enough, as Alor did pick up the kill on Thresh, quickly answered by Symphonic picking up the kill on Vex. DZG, I think they got a lot more than they should have in that play. That is fantastic to see.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a scuffed tower dive. It started out really nice, and then the Vex took a really strong tower shot, and then they just got collapsed on from there, and it was just over after the Nico flash.
And we are seeing this rare peril drop in the mid lane here. That should be enough to get the towers. We're seeing the teleport now being channeled. DZG are not focusing the tower, so that teleport will channel through. The tower will go down, but I think it's going to cost Dopamine his life. But no, beautiful clone there popped. Bully throws the hook, but it did not land. CB Cooper is not going to be doing everything that he can, but he does not have access to the Spire. Symphonic kind of playing here in the wings to get out some time, but it will be the cannon barrage coming down from Gangplank. He pops a barrel over the wall. Dopamine hits the blast plant. Barrel misses. Cooper then utilizes the flash to try to get close, but it will not be enough. Dopamine with the fancy footwork goes on a killing.
Yeah, I think we just saw quite a lot of overcommitment to try to kill this Nico. It was very well tried.
Certainly, and that was just beautiful to see. That clone literally had all members of Collective Calamity questioning their reality here. As we bring you to the next episode of Westworld. But with that being said, Dopamine just able to build so much distance with just that, and then Bully missing that hook. That was beautiful to see, and it wasted so much time. And DZG now at 5k gold lead, as Sexy Lion is just abusing this Gangplank. And you have to imagine that tower's going to fall, while the rest of DZG go ahead and pick up a nice Cloud Drake for themselves in the bot lane. And we're getting the Infernal map here, XL.
Yeah, I think that Infernal Drake's actually really good for DZG. I think that this is just going so far downhill on the side of CC. It's just, the top lane is just in crumbles. They've already gotten the first turret, and the Jax is just open to roam because he's not even built the Hull Breaker. He's able to go into the team fight and be there for his team.
Certainly, and it, like we were talking about, now it's extended to a 6k gold lead. Symphonic here in the mid lane. I don't think that's Symphonic. That's just a W, as Nico is prowling around in the jungle, gets a lot of damage out here with CB Cooper. But DZG just have no fears. Both solo laners are putting on a show. 3-0 on the Nico, 3-0 on the Jax, and the rest of DZG, Symphonic in the bot lane, just providing so much support and utility for the rest of the team. The Hawk shots coming in clutch. The looks for the Enchanted Crystal Arrow are always a threat, because I've seen Silent Elements hit some insane ones. And Mag's drones have just been absolutely on point for the side of DZG. So, it's been the DZG show, right? But what does CC need to do to come back into this, XXL?
Yeah, I think what's key here is whichever member of DZG gets Skarner ulted. I think it can never be the Jax, and it can never be the Nico. And I think that makes this game just all the harder for CC. I think they need the burst damage coming out from the Jhin and the Vex, and it's just not enough right now. They're not able to get any picks onto DZG.
100% agreed. I mean, you grab a Nico in, and if she survives the initial burst, then she just pops the Boston and just ruins your whole team. Jack's the same deal with Counter Strike, but it's looking like we're getting a little bit of a cheeky play here. The bully goes over the wall, he throws the hook, does connect. Silent Element's doing everything that he can to get to that lantern, but he does not. Oh, it was, I don't even know what that was. I think that was Red Buff that did take down Silent Elements there in the end. I thought he was going to get away with it, but and now it will be Sexy Line going on to Aelor here, doing a lot of damage. One more auto attack will do it, and that will be the GPA coming out. Now, that was the Smarter Ultimate coming down, but a Gopamine goes on a rampage. Another kill goes over to Symphonic as Jin falls. DZG just cleaning up the map despite Silent Elements falling. The only two members alive are first CT, who's just doing everything that he can to farm, and Bully ran for his life, as this will be the second Herald started up for the side of DZG.
Yeah, this does look very, very, very hard for CC to come back into here. The Jin being probably the only prominent member on that side. The Jack, obviously the Gangplank going into lane 1-0, now 2-4, down 70 CS even. It's just looking dark for them. They do have a bit of the scaling factor with the Gangplank, Skarner, and Vex, and even Jin. They do have some scaling, but it's just we need to see them get into those items.
And Symphonic here poking around the topside jungle with no fear, and once again Leo the Sexy Lion finds a target, and he should take them down. This man is unstoppable, as Vex does fall once again, 1-4 on this champion. And kind of going into it, we talked about it in the draft phase. We said we saw a lot of things that we like coming out of both teams. So it's not even really something that they can adapt to well in the draft side going into the game too, which is something that I think that PC really needs to start analyzing. They're saying, okay, cool, well, let's keep good mental and move into game 2, because this game has gotten so far out of their control, in my personal opinion. And it's just really hard for them to find anything, right? You talked about them only having really access to one target, and that's the Ashe. But we saw they took down Ashe, and the rest of TCG said, oh, without an 80 carry, we're still fine, and we'll murder you because we have a 4-0 Nico and a 5-0 Jax. And Hecarim's doing absolute work as well. Now, DZG might be looking for this next Infernal Drake, as Jax did take down the last of the outer towers here in a little bit, and we're looking at an 8k gold lead at 17 minutes. DZG just have the gas pedal to the floorboard right now. But, I mean, this is the point in XL where we always see some gold teams maybe start to flounder, is really breaking into the mid game and executing the macro. As Cooper is hit by the death set. Follow up coming here from Gopamine as he layers down some damage. Hector goes over the wall with his ultimate, but it will not be enough as CB Cooper does get out. That was a lot used there. Surprised Gopamine didn't actually opt for the ultimate, but I think TCG is just going to say, okay, cool, we push him out of the jungle and maybe look at this dragon use XL.
Yeah, I do like how they're looking to push in all these waves and get the objective focus, but they are losing top lane because they have committed the Jax down to bottom side instead. And they're even losing the top jungle, looks like. CC's actually punishing and trying to get their jungler more ahead.
Yeah, certainly, and they're trying to do everything they can to find some gold to get back in this game. They know that the Dragon's going to be the target here, but it will be the Sexy Line going for the first CT, who does pop the orange to get out. Flash comes through, and boom! He just demolishes him. It's hard to even find the excitement in this anymore, as Leo, the Sexy Line, is just plowing through the members of CC Collective. I'm sorry, Collective Calamity. Now, DZG knows that all members of Collective Calamity are on the top side of the map. They did get the objective bounty on that outside tower, so they just pop the Rift Herald to tier 2 here. They're going to get this charge. They should get this tower as well. Is this Herald still going to be alive to maybe get a charge on the inhib? But DZG, with a fantastic heads-up play, they attack the weak side of the map, and it pays off dividends.
Yeah, it did look like they committed a bit too much up into that top side, and DZG just kind of takes the 5v1. I mean, I don't even think anyone else was there to help the Jax, but they just take out the Gangplank and just push down 3 towers almost, basically.
And, you know, it's ironic that the GP is the one looking down the barrel of the gun here, as, you know, DZG just say, okay, we're taking whatever we want. Jax has been able to win every single fight that he's looked for. He's sitting 6-0 on this champion. He does have access to the QSS, so even if Skarner tries to lock him down, it will not be enough. Ashe opted to pick up the Mortal Shield Bow, so that should buy Silent Elements a lot of time here if he's ever the target as well. And just all the conditions that the side of Collective Calamity might have been able to attack. They're just getting shored up with an amazing build path from DZG to really shore up those defensive. Zanya's Hourglass for the Nico as well as Leo the Sexy line might be looking again, but I think there's actually more value for him to go after the CS. But 4 members down here on the bot side of the map, they might try to look for him. Could be a little bit of a dangerous situation here, as there's no real other pressure points at the side of the map for DZG. 4 members down here, Jack's looking. Ultimate coming out from Nautilus. He wants to get the damage onto the first ET, but he opts to just leave Strike out. He's now running for his life. Ignite ticking, and it will be the flash going over. And oh no, Collective Calamity! You did not want the bully to pick up that gold there. That was 1,000 damage or 1,000 gold going into the pocket of the Nautilus here. As DZG will now start up the Nash, but now teleport's coming out. The answer Vex going on top of Magpie's here. Goes gold. Gopumi pops the ultimate, but it will not hit Aelor as he was gold during this time frame. First ET, Cooper and Aelor do actually dissuade the damage going on to the Nash here. DZG end up keeping all members alive, with the exception of the kill going over to the bully in the bot lane. But man, there was so much action on Packers and so thoughts, please.
Yeah, I think that this is a bit hard going in now, because now the 1K shutdown's gone and it's on to the Nautilus. We need to see Nautilus be able to do something with this. We need to see the Shurelias get finished, we need some engage, and they need to try to catch someone. Next focus, right, it's going to be either the Nico or the Hecarim. The Hecarim, a lot more escapes. The Nico, very tanky with the Pop Blossom and the Hourglass being built. I don't really see anything going their way. Luckily, the Jax did go down. I think that Jax played a bit too far up. He did see the Skarner ward thing get popped, like taken by them. I think that's an immediate sign to back off. I get that you're 6-0, you're really strong, but I don't think you're ever gonna make more than a 1v3.
Yeah, you're strong, but you're not 1v5 strong yet. That is for sure. As and another point to consider too is he had no pressure on the rest of the map, right? Like DZG weren't making any moves in the top lane or the mid lane, or even really starting up the Nash at that time. Maybe the point was, hey, draw some pressure and then we could do something. But I mean, they weren't really in a position to capitalize as soon as all members showed up. It was more of a delayed reaction. Go, oh shit, there's 4 people in the bot lane. Let's go ahead and start up this Nash. But now posturing around this third Drake, if DZG do pick it up, it's going to be 4th Drake overall, 2nd Infernal. And that will put them on soul point, so definitely giving them another avenue to have a strong win condition here. But we talked, or I mentioned earlier, this mid-game tempo acceleration is something that a lot of teams in this Elo struggle with. What do you feel DZG really need to be doing to capitalize with this insane lead that they have right now?
Yeah, I think they're actually playing it a bit too slow. I think with their comp, they should play it slow. They should have Jax in the side lane, and they should look to capitalize on when they either send people for Jax or the enemy, or they should try to stall and let Jax just take over that side lane.
We're seeing Gopamine now here look for Alar, but it will not be enough as Enchanted Crystal Arrow thrown out as well. Gopamine takes the Lantern, and I think all of your action is going to fizzle out here, as that was a good look, but nothing really connected there to be able to land the damage onto Alar and then set themselves up. So we could be having ourselves a little bit of a brawl here, as they're really jockeying around this Drake, but it will be DZG that have the, oh, it actually won't be, but Cooper goes forward. He does get the ultimate onto Silent Element for the return damage. Coming up from that Pop Blossom is huge. Leo the Sexy line takes out the first ET. Skarner falls, but will be Mags falling as well. Now damage coming out here onto Aelor 25 as they're trying to hold on, and Leo the Sexy line is just absolutely plowing through the members of Collective Calamity. Travis is the only member left of the side of Collective Calamity alive, and now it will be DZG picking up their 3rd Drake, sitting on fill point, and the only person left alive is the 80 carry from Collective to do anything about it. Jax is looking for him, trying to get something, as I excuse me, think DZG will set their sights onto this Nash.
Yeah, I think that team fight was looking quite well for CC right at the beginning with the Skarner, but I think that their team was a bit too slow to capitalize on that kill, and then they kind of just got 3-man Nico ulted. Vex wasn't able to get in with the ultimate, and it was just downwards from there.
Certainly, and they got the target that you wanted to see, or get the Skarner ultimate. The problem is, Ash is able to buy so much time without a full shield throw, and then all the members of Collective Calamity were trying to get in to apply the damage to Silent Elements there, and just the stars aligned for Nico. Gopamine coming out huge in that fight, just applying so much damage. And Leo the Lion just able to bounce through the fight and pick up whoever he wanted, picking up 3 kills in that last fight was beautiful. As DZG get the Drake, they get 4 kills, they get the Nash, and they should be in a fantastic driving position to close this game out here, Sexel.
Yeah, I'd like to see them pushing more, getting more of these objective towers, especially with that Baron up now. I do see the Jax is top lane, and they're sending quite a few down bottom. I'd like to see that. There's not many wards up top, so I'm a bit scared of Jax getting collapsed on 1v4 again. Hopefully he knows his better this time.
Well, now it also looks like DZG have the push in the bot lane to be able to do something as well here in case that is their decision. But maybe they want to look for the fight. The side of Collective Calamity want to look for the fight where the Jax isn't, but he does have access to this teleport. They are sending 4 members down here. Gangplank left in the top lane, as it will be Cooper heading face first into the enemy team looking for something. He's a fast boy. It will be the Gangplank ultimate coming out. Curtain Call coming in. Vex goes in as well. A lot of damage going out on the back rise. But Gopamine turns around. A lot of damage coming out. Symphonic on a killing spree, as it will be the teleport coming in from Leo the Sexy Lion. Looking at Travis, Leap Strike should be coming up in just a few moments. That is it, as DZG get another quick 4 kills. First ET doing everything he can, teleported back into it, drop the cannon barrage, but he's the only member left alive. DZG should now be breaking into this base. This inhibitor should fall. Actually, I think this should be game. This Jax is strong. They should be able to just plow through this. Some cannons come, or some barrels coming out. Gopamine is forced to go gold there just in case that did connect. One Nexus Tower falls. Sexy Lion goes on top of first ET, and it will be, ooh, not him falling just yet, as DZG do not have access to him anyways. This tower doing work. The bully will get another shutdown, but I think DZG are just going to say, you know what, we got what we got. Death Timer is just not long enough, and they back out here. As I think maybe if Leo focused on that tower, they could have just ended, but maybe not. But that will be DZG just getting so much out of that last fight.
Yeah, I think that was a bit... I like the safe play, though. I do like them, because they do know that even in the fights where they get these... The CC gets these key ultimates and these key picks, they're not even winning. The Vex actually gets a really good connect, and as soon as Vex gets in, instantly one-shot by the Nico ultimate, and they're just not able to make anything out of anything. I think that they need to probably play for vision, look for just one target, instead of going for these team fights, because the team fights are just not working.
Especially if, this next minute and 20 seconds grants DZG Elysium another dragon. If they get that, then this burst damage that we're already seeing coming out of Gopamine's Nico is just going to get even more accelerated with that soul coming in for them. It's going to be absolutely devastating. But a 12k gold lead, DZG up 22 kills to 8, and they have the mid lane exposed. So now just send Jax to top lane, send 4 members into the mid lane, and if you feel like you need to back out and go grab that dragon, do so. I should not see this game lasting another 3 minutes, but hey, I've always been proven wrong here in Gold League of Legends sometimes, so we'll see how this pans out as DZG are kind of seeing like that's what they're going to be doing. 4 members here into the mid lane. Gopamine doing his best Leo the Sexy Lion cosplay in the mid lane, as the waves are starting to build up, and DZG should have the pressure that they need to really make something happen here, as we're seeing things move up here in the top lane, but I can't imagine it's going to last too much longer, XL.
Yeah, we do see Red Side trying to play the vision game, like I was saying, but they're just not able to fight the 4v4. They have to back off and give up all their vision in their own jungle.
And Gopamine is just saying, please grab me. Watch what I'm going to do to you. Pop, pop, blossom, and just end it. As now they're sending members up here to the top side to join this wave that has been built up. Cooper flashes forward, but now he will be trying to look for something. I don't think he even grabs anybody. As Leo, the Sexy Line is unstoppable. Vex goes in, Vex goes gold. But now she is in a tight spot as Dessence connects, and it will be A-War going down as Silent Elements now joins the killing spree team. Gopamine, what? A big pop on one of the bully. It did force the first ET to back up defensively. Leo the Lion flashes forward, gets the counter strike on the 2 members. First ET once again is the only member left alive. DZG now shift their focus over this mid lane towers. That's where they have the wave. Just kidding, they have a super wave in the bot lane. Second Nexus tower rather will be the target, and I think we're on to the big objective itself, as it is half. It's 25%, and it is down. DZG Elysium take the first win against Collective Calamity.
Yeah, I think as Collective Calamity, you have to try to take that game with stride, just go into the next one, forget that it happened, and try to play away from the top lane. I don't think that it's going to work unless they can get a massive lead onto their top laner. I think it's going to take some time for them to get. I think that's going to tilt them a bit. The Jax just powering through, and even the mid lane, the 1v1 was just too much. The Nico.
Yeah, you just look at those damage charts there. Jax doing 20,000 damage, Nico doing 16,000 damage. DZG just barreled through them that game. And so that was beautiful to see. But like, so we saw both teams' play styles. Now, if you had to make some draft adaptations for the side of Collective Calamity,
I think we need.
What are some of the things you're looking at?
I think Collective Calamity needs more consistent damage. I don't think that the Jhin or the Vex are putting out anywhere near enough what they need. Up against all of DZG's members, they just weren't able to deal enough damage unless it was very early game and they had burst. We even saw the Ashe go the Immortal Shield Bow. The Nico had Hourglass. The Thresh had Locket, making everyone tankier. It was just impossible to get through all of their stats.
Yeah, and DZG, they had the tempo advantage the whole entire game, but the way that they did like a bulwark style front line, like military style, right? They said, okay, well, we're gonna push into enemy territory, and each step of the way, we're gonna make sure that our defenses are impenetrable. So like, even if like one member gets called out, like, good luck killing them. The Immortal Shield Bow, like you said, the Zhonya's, the Locket, like, cool. Like, there's almost no weaknesses to exploit in the side of DZG. And the way that they were so far ahead with the Jax, with Nico being so strong, even if they did give the Gangplank time to scale, I don't even know if it would have been enough. So that really gave them the comfort to play it slow. Now, granted, I would have loved to see a more fast-paced game come out of the side of DZG Elysium, but you can't deny the results, for sure.
Yeah, I think that they looked at the enemy comp and they said, we can't lose early, and then they lost the first fight, and then they just waited until they were going to win no matter what, and then they were just off.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for Game 1. We'll be bringing you the Game 2 draft very shortly, as hopefully Collective Calamity is able to figure out a little bit of what they need to do to bring in, make this a series. But DZG, with the tempo right now, yeah, I'd love to see it, especially with all these different picks we have. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, quick break, as we'll be bringing you Game 2 draft fairly shortly.
Those hands and lights can't stop me. I just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from this high. Now with you, now with you, this high.
calm before the storm. Things aren't as they were before. You best start bracing. Did you think you could keep us out? Shut the gates, forget us now. Tides are changing. Can you hear the sound? Can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Can you hear the sound? We're the revolution. With the ground beneath your feet, with a whisper in the trees. Do you feel us watching? Hunger in our eyes, victories on our minds. It's our time to rise. Can you hear the sound? Can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Can you hear the sound? We're the revolution.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, getting you right into the Game 2 draft for Collective Calamity versus DZG Elysium. And per the league's rules, we are seeing a little bit of a wide swap-a-roo here as Jana joins the chopping block for the first ban. Zexel, like, we're getting in, we see the squad swap. What are some of your thoughts on how Collective Calamity can try to strike back?
I mean, I imagine that they have some sort of like blind pick.
Well, we hope so. We did see DZG opt
They
to go
want
for
to do
that
here.
Heck Room in Game 1.
Some
And
strong pick that they need for the first.
yeah, so DZG did come in with the Heck Room Game 1, and it was quite effective, as it will be Trundle joining here as well. So you've looked at the OP.GGs. What do you think a good, strong line pick is going to be for the side of Collective Calamity?
I mean, I'd like to see something like the Viego, or for some reason, every game the Blitzcrank gets banned. If the Blitz is open, I feel like that's going to make a difference.
Well, it is not going to be left open, as it will be Wukong Zeri joining the blue side bans, and that Blitzcrank is going to be taken away from Collective Calamity here. Third ban now on the table here is DZG trying to think about what they want to take away. And just looking at last game, nothing from the previous draft really jumped out and said, hey, like, this is something that we cannot let them have again. The Gen was probably their most effective tool, but actually they just don't want to give the chance for Collective Calamity to play the Heck Room. And it will be a Jinx first pick here, Zexel.
Seeing that they're picking Jinx, I expect... Actually, I'm realizing I have the wrong ADC. I was going to say I'd expect the Caitlyn to come out as the pick into the Jinx, but we do see the Diana actually locked in and taken away from CC.
Well, it will be the Diana coming into Gopamine, and we have seen this man do amazing things on this champion. Mags, once again, getting her Thresh, and I feel like she did fantastic last game with that champion, surviving a lot of things that I don't think she should have. And we talked about how last draft, DZG did not want to play into that quirky Victor matchup, but Victor now coming in before DZG get a chance to take that away. And I think that should shift a lot of the dynamics here. That's going to be a lot of scaling on the side of Collective Calamity here, Zexel.
Yeah, I think they're actually expecting the Diana to be the mid laner there, and the Victor actually has been a very safe pick into it. I mean, from the side of DZG Elysium, I think that there's a lot more picks on that jungle or on that mid pick. So
Well, certainly, and Diana, just knowing DCG's history, I would imagine that will be piloted by Gopamine. And Silent Elements once again opting to go for that Ashe into the Jinx Braum lane here. How do you feel about this 2v2 in the bot lane?
I think that there's a massive amount of reliability on if Braum can get that passive stack started. I think that if Jinx gets her attack speed ramping up and Braum's able to get that passive, they're gonna win every single time.
It's something to keep an eye on, as now instead of having the mid lane bans come out, we're looking at these top lane bans being very focused. I'd imagine that DZG is going to go for a red 4 jungle pick and an R5 top lane counter pick, as it will be the Shen taken away from CC, and it will be the Jax answered right back from CC's side. Next red ban coming out, it will be the Kragus taken away, so they're taking away a lot of safe tanky options, and maybe trying to force Collective Calamity to play something they might not be comfortable with again, kind of like that gameplay.
Yeah, I think normally on the side of on red side we would like to see the jungle here, but with that Diana pick, it actually has a lot of flexibility. I'd assume that they still ban. Oh, they do ban a jungler, so they are just instantly assuming that the Diana is mid lane, like we spoke about earlier.
Certainly, and
But
that Jarvan coming in, giving a lot of access to long-range engage plays, locking up a carry as well. So Jarvan joining the topping block should help give Jinx and Victor a lot of safety here, as now DZG should theoretically be picking up a jungle or mid. Not likely the mid, as we've discussed thoroughly. 5 seconds left on that, and yeah, something to really bring this team comp together. Maybe give Diana a dive buddy, and it will be a Xin Zhao, and that's a pretty good dive buddy to have there, XL.
yeah, that is actually really nice with their composition. The Ashe and Thresh are just able to walk up and do whatever they want because they always have the Xin Zhao Diana ready to dive in right after them.
Certainly. Now, what do you want to see counter this Xin Zhao here in the jungle? Actually,
Um,
oh no, please don't lock this in.
This is the Ivern hover and lock in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully they have fixed the client sense. However, with Ivern being picked, if he does offer some of those spectator bugs, we unfortunately will not be able to stream Game 2 for you. But Ivern will be locked in, and it will be Ornn joining him in the top lane to round out CC's comp. If this is locked in, just kidding. It's going to be an R.
Yeah, I think Dar actually puts up a lot more of the kill pressure. I think that Ornn is a very strong scaling pick, but with Ornn, they put their whole team into that scaling basket. And Gnar goes better up against something that wants to kill him, like the Irelia, which was picked up here in the top lane.
Well, we talked about, giving Leo a dangerous side threat here. Irelia is one of those. And the lane control that Irelia is able to offer, if piloted correctly, is absolutely insane as well. Now, Gnar will have access to a little bit of the range. So that should help him out in this lane. But like we said, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully they have fixed Ivern. If not, then unfortunately we will not be able to stream this game too. But now it's going to be Collective Calamity here with their full roster. Gnar in the top lane, Ivern in the jungle, Victor mid, Jinx Braum in the bot lane, versus DZG Elysium's top lane Irelia, Xin Zhao in the jungle, Diana, Ashe, and Thresh in that bot lane. So we see both comps. You're seeing the adaptations for the side of Collective Calamity. Do you think it's going to be enough?
I think that their comp is it's very it takes a lot of like patience, and from what I've seen, they don't have the patience. I'd expect with DZG their comp basically just having every single go button. I think that it's just going to be easy, just walk through the enemy team and they're just going to take this one.
Let's hope that is the case here, as one of the things that I'm looking at here for the side of Collective Calamity, if they ever want to get a good strong fight, Gnar needs to go mega and find the avenue to really get it in on Ashe, I guess. But I mean, once again, DZG's only real pressure point that can really be safely blown up by a good engage is gonna be the Ashe again, right? And
No,
you have Irelia, Zhao, and Diana just able to go up into the backline. Now, if they're not able to get on top of the Jinx, they're not able to get on top of the Victor. Those two champions should be able to layer a lot of damage on to the dog pile, so to speak, that DZG should be offering. So I think that's something that could be looked at for sure in this game.
yeah, I think that if we see CC actually able to hold down this early game and get into those team fights without the Irelias and Jandana actually getting super ahead, I think that they can actually look to just lock down that front line and play front to back. And as long as they're not getting 5-man Diana ulted and Irelia ulted every fight, I think they actually might have a chance in that regard.
Right, and there is also a little bit of the jungle style play differences that are going to be coming out of a Xinjiao versus a Hecarim, right? The games theoretically are a little bit easier on the Hecarim, whereas most of the time relying on that Wind Becomes Lightning to connect, especially in the mid lane. Now, if Irelia is able to connect the blades and get a stun off and really layer up for Xinjiao to come in, that would be beneficial, and I definitely think they should attack this top lane. If Gnar ever goes mega and starts to scale out of it and doesn't have access to the leap, then this should definitely be an area that DZG should attack because we saw what Leo was able to do last game. So with that being said, we are seeing the last two picks coming in right now. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and bring you into a spectate delay here in just a moment. Once again, disclaimer, we talked about it, but we'll go ahead and do our best to make sure we are able to deliver you this stream. Once again, though, ladies and gentlemen, also remember, please check out our sponsorship, Buff, !Buff in the chat. You'll get the link. Go ahead and download it. You get to play some games, make some money on your own, and support DZG a little bit. So with that being said, hang tight as we're bringing you into spectate delay, and then hopefully, bringing you some Game 2 action of Collective Calamity versus DZG Elysium.
Let's let this turn like a fire in a blaze. Gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in us. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back bringing you DZG Elysium versus Collective Calamity as both teams take to the Rift yet again, and it will be once again Collective Calamity looking here with their little five-man shenanigans on the bot side of the map as DZG opt to fan out for the five-man 5 points. So definitely having a little bit of a different look and hopefully avoiding the little bit of a calamity that struck last time level 1. But Zexel, we're on the Rift here, and assuming Ivern doesn't blow up our client, what are some things that you're hoping to see?
Yeah, I'm hoping to see this Xin Zhao early ganks over and over. I want to see him get the Irelia. I want to see him get the Diana. I just want to see ganks after ganks going
So
into these lanes.
definitely hoping for the action here as I'm actually surprised Collective Calamity didn't look for something a little bit more aggressive. The Braum level 1 is super potent and offers a lot for that CC layering effect. But it actually will be the Ivern starting on the bot side of the map, and Xinjiao joined on the bot side of the map as well. So they might be looking for some top lane action early. So you may just get your wish, XL.
Yeah, I do like the side of this. I am looking over at the runes, and we see the Irelia actually opting for Conqueror over the Lethal Tempo, which I don't actually know if that's the best pick into the Nor matchup, just because the range after fighting for quite a while is really helpful in the Irelia. But I think it does help him sustain quite a bit more, which could be what they're looking for.
Certainly, and I really is already a little bit challenging to kill at some points, but I do agree that extra range, especially in a pseudo range matchup, they're going to be facing against the first ET here. But just seeing some things kind of go as expected here, just both sides farming up, nothing too crazy. But yeah, I just really excited to see these first ganks coming out. And fortunately, second game in a row that we will not have a Mountain Soul as well. So I am always happy to not see Cloud or Mountain Souls, because that's a lot of damage going on to the first CT as Leo, the sexy line's doing a lot of damage. But it will be Cooper here getting there a lot quicker than Jin Zhao was able to get to this top side of the map here. Pops out some damage here to get onto Leo, but he now looks for the trade. He goes in and forces the first CT's flash. This is going to be too aggressive. Another auto attack should seal the deal, but will he get it? He does get it. Now he's going to shift his focus onto the CB Cooper here, and this Irelia already putting on a show.
Yeah, the Ivern actually going straight from red to the gank top lane. I don't think we expected that with the Irelia able to 2v1 it out and just win overall.
And Gopamine getting some good trades in here. We'll get struck up by the gravity field and then opts to go back in for a little bit more of a trade. But that's both summoners out of first ET's pocket, and all that it cost Leo was his flash there, and he almost got a double kill. So this tempo, just 10 CS up, kill up, first blood over. Leo is in a fantastic position to put on the clinic that we saw last game.
Yeah, this is exactly what we expect out of that dominating performance after last game.
Well, we are now hopefully having everything look good. I don't know if it's if we have to look at Ivern to actually see it go south, but Ivern's taking a few camps here despite his immediate gank up top. And we haven't crashed yet, so hopefully we will be able to watch all this. Now CB Cooper is here on the bot side of the map, maybe looking to say, hey, whoa, top side didn't go so well. Let's see if he can get Travis and the bully ahead. He's looking for something. Maybe his Mags does step up, but he actually does not opt to throw out the root here. Maybe just waiting for them to push out a little bit more as now he goes in. He flashes forward. He's looking now, a little bit of patience here as he does get on top of Mag Freeze. Damage coming out now, and it should be enough, as that will be the heal coming in. The flash coming in from Mag Freeze, and she does survive. Well played coming out from Max on this Thresh. I thought they were dead to rights, but that was a fantastically timed deal and a fantastically timed Flash, as once again, we saw that Cooper trying to give this kill over to Travis, and they're just not able to seal the deal here, Zexel.
Yeah, we even seen him cancel the auto attack.
Well, we are seeing some action here as the mid lane as Cooper does try to get onto Gopamine, but every single time, Cooper has been in every single lane here and has not been able to get the kill, as Sexy Lion is just punishing Gnar in the top lane, and just Gopamine able to walk out that mid lane fight is setting a little low, but DZG just, you know, they're unkillable in this early game.
Yeah, I think that if we're seeing the Gnar, we'd like to see like some sort of anti-heal coming out, like the Executioner's Calling, because otherwise this Irelia is just going to let him poke and just heal up off the whole wave.
Absolutely, and another thing to consider too is we talked about that Conqueror not being the optimal choice here, but they don't go for that Grievous Wounds, and it's going to get a lot more mileage than we might have initially thought. But you know, Gnar able to come back and actually even out the CS here, which is a big sight difference than we saw in the last game in that Gangplank matchup. But Leo is just definitely once again has the foot on the gas pedal as DZG here pushing into the bot lane. Not really too much of a care in the world, as it will be Drake now spawning and able to be accessed by either side here.
Yeah, one difference between the comps that is pretty big is instead of the Jhin, the Hyper Burst early game ADC, we actually have the Jinx, who's just going to scale and get stronger over time. So even if this lane is going even, and the Ashe's utility is going to be useful no matter what, the Jinx is just going to get on her items and pop off.
Well, that is something that DZG need to keep in mind here is they do have that little bit of a timer, and they also need to be able to navigate these fights well. Be able to blow up the Jinx, be able to blow up the Victor as things will boil out here. But right now, it's Gopamine going in for a lot of trade damage. He able to navigate that gravity field, but it will be Ivern here in the mid lane now. Gopamine did go back into the gravity field, does not have access to the flash, and that will be the Chaos Storm connecting. Symphonic comes in with Wind Become Lightning, does connect, but I don't think he has enough damage. That Chaos Storm is still alive. Cooper is half health, and both of them are feeling very strong as they will take down Gopamine on this Diana.
Yeah, I think that was a bit unfortunate for Gopamine because he dashed back in to the gravity field, getting stunned up again. Even though the Ivern was there and the Q did not connect, didn't matter. They were just able to take him out anyways.
Certainly, and it was literally he rushed right back into it as it was despawning, so that is super unfortunate. But it will be Collective Calamity striking back and, you know, creating a really equal state for them in this game. The Gnar's not suffering nearly as much as the first CT struggled in the first game. The gold's super even. So this could be the smooth early, smooth-ish early game that CC really needed and really wanted to really get this Victor and Jinx a chance to make it to the late game.
Yeah, they really do need to slow down this. They need to try to get a little bit ahead even, because if that Xin Zhao and Diana get these key dashes in and are able to get their ultimates onto that Jinx and Victor, it's going to be very hard for them to come back into this.
Well, Gopamine was looking for a plate there. Will get hit by the root here as CB Cooper does come to the mid lane. Gravity Field will be dropped into the knockup from Daisy, but Gopamine opts to go forward, and he will actually fall as CB Cooper takes out Gopamine yet again at the mid lane. And I think he got the plate, but it's not really worth the plate for your life. Does feel pretty bad there, Zexo.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a bit of overconfidence on Gopamine after last game. And this really hard matchup for them. I don't think it's actually the best for the Diana here, and they just keep getting caught out.
Yeah, going from 5-0 last game to 0-2 in this early game does not feel good, as it will be the side of Collective Calamity starting up this Drake and securing themselves the first one, as I'm always excited to see what the next one is, and it will be an ocean, so it won't have the ocean map either.
You actually really don't like to see that Mountain Drake going to the side of CC, because that makes their carries all that much tankier, and on top of that, I just now realizing we have the double Guardian coming out of the supports on their side, basically making their team even more tankier than what we assumed.
Well, we talked about it last game of how DZG really opted into ways to defend like their weak points, and Collective Calamity really did the same here as well. Braum offering a lot of safety for his team, plus the Guardian, and the same thing coming in from Cooper, really offering that massive shield that Ivern's able to offer to his teammates and really give that utility aspect to his team as well. So if they're able to make it to the late game, it's going to be really, really hard to kill Travis and Alor here, especially now that Alor is having a lot better of an early game compared to last game. Just the Nico was so abusive into the Vex, and Alor, I just felt like at no point was able to do anything.
Yeah, I think that he was a bit shut down that whole game on the Vex. Wasn't really able to get into any fights. Even the fights that they were able to get into, it was practically just to ult in and die. We do see here the Gnar actually getting onto the Ninja Tabby, being able to survive through this plated steel caps.
Oh, no, Symphonic now here, when it becomes lightning, does connect onto the Gnar here, but it will be Victor up here on the top lane as well as Leo the Sexy Lion tries to get onto Alor, but I think Symphonic will be the one to fall here as Alor does get the kill onto Symphonic. That is not where you want the gold to go, DZG. But it will be Enchanted Crystal Arrow connecting. Dopamine is now here on the top lane, but he only hits. Oh, he does flash forward. Hits onto CB Cooper with the ultimate now. Damage coming over, and Dopamine gets the double kill with a beautiful Crescent Strike coming onto Alor. 2 quick kills going into DZG Dopamine's pockets here.
Just after that first little team fight skirmish that we see out of the Diana, you can see the experience knowing to flash at the perfect time, able to secure the kill onto the Ivern, even though they were able to get out of it originally.
Certainly, and that was well played. And, you know, we talked about it last game, or I talked about it last game. Silent Omen's hitting these insane Enchanted Crystal Arrows, and that's what I wanted to see last game. A beautiful fire from him, really helping out the team there, and Gopa being able to strike back and hopefully create some equilibrium in the mid lane to help himself out, because Irelia's been able to generate a beautiful CS lead in the top lane. Unfortunately, though, we're not seeing the dominant wave control that I'm used to seeing out of an Irelia, so what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that a lot of it comes down to they can't really predict the Ivern without actually seeing the jungle. And even though they have the Zinjao, the super aggressive jungler, counter-jungling against Ivern's even harder. You don't really know what he's going to be able to just walk up and proc his passive on. He's not going to be able to stop you from doing anything. So it makes it a bit harder for the Zinjao actually to get the leads that Zinjao wants to with the invades. But we do see Victor actually picks up the Crown of the Shattered Queen, which is really good up against this enemy comp, making him even tankier in the long run.
We did see some cheeky rips coming out of the side of the bully, but also matched here by Magpies as well. Symphonic now taking a lot of damage off, go back in, a lot of damage coming out now. Symphonic goes over the wall and he will live, but now damage coming out. It will be Gopami going on a killing spree as he takes down Victor. Super Mega Tap Rocket comes from downtown. It does connect and does take down Symphonic. So kill going over to Jinx, a kill going over to Gopamine, and that was a lot of action. And both AD carries just saying, hey, we'll fill the bot lane and just throw our ultimates up top. Unfortunately, this time, Travis doing a lot more work than Silent Elements was able to do with that global ultimate.
Yeah, I think overall the Jinx getting that cash out is really, really nice for her. Get this Jinx ahead. The Diana getting a kill again. I mean, that's also very scary because that's the one that you don't want to be able to dive onto and one-shot you.
Yeah, certainly. And right now, we just saw how things looked like they were going CC's way, and then Symphonic and Diana just turning around and doing absolute work. Just the amount of damage they were able to do in that double man dive was insane. And DZG sitting about 1k ahead right now, and second dragon spawning here in about 30 seconds. I have to imagine that either team really wants to get this to help with some of the sustain, but also to start stacking for that Drake win condition.
Yeah, I mean, we can see here by the gold graphs, the gold is a lot more similar, the kills are a lot more similar, and even the dragons, they're a bit behind compared to CC, but the massive difference is this top lane. We see the Blade of the Rune King is already finished in the hands of Irelia. That is a very strong soul laning item. I wonder if he might even pick up the Hullbreaker if he's going to continue going for that 1v1.
Certainly, well, we are seeing a lot of posturing around this Drake right now as it will be spawning here. Gopamine sitting on half health, just getting absolutely poked out by Alor's Victor. Does not have access to a teleport either, opting to go for the Ignite here. But DZG saying, hey, go for this Drake. We're just going to go ahead and try to get some gold into our pockets here as they do drop the Rift Herald free 14 minutes and should get some plates here in the mid lane. Now it's going to be decided for the CC Collective to try to come in here. Teleport actually being channeled here. I think that has to be for the first TT as he does have access to Meganar, and Aelor's looking forward.
I think they're looking
What will they
forward.
be able to do? Travis is now here in the mid lane as well, but Irelia is going in. Damage coming out now, and it's going on to Aelor. Will he die? He does get the shutdown onto Dopamine, and he somehow survived so long. I think that was a shield coming in, but now it will be Jinx here, getting massive two-man pickup. These rockets doing so much damage. Max now next to on the chopping block, and she will fall as well. Triple kill going into Travis's pocket, as it was CC just rotating the right members into this mid lane to stop the DZG aggression.
Yeah, I think we talked about it earlier. Just the pure tankiness of them being able to survive that initial burst. I mean, the Diana was able to get in with the two-man ultimate, and it was just on the front line. It just wasn't enough. Wasn't able to take out the Victor or the Jinx, and I think that just basically sealed their fate from there. Jinx getting excited to just chase down the Thresh at the end. It was just over.
It's one of the things that we talked about just looking at the draft, right? Like DZG have this insane dive comp, but if you never get onto the Jinx, and she's just able to throw rocket after rocket into your team, and never mind, that joke wouldn't be very PC right now. But just the amount of AoE damage that she's able to lob into the team and just spread around, and just one rocket picked up a double kill there. So it's going to be really hard for DZG to win fights if they're not able to pick up some of these crucial carries and really get both Jinx and the Victor into that dive. Because even if you don't hit the Jinx, then lasers and a Chaos Storm coming out of Victor are going to be able to offer so much damage as well. So DZG really need to assess how they want to play these team fights, and maybe just try to look for a way to split things out with Leo and Cyrella.
Yeah, I'm looking down at the builds. The Jinx actually opting not even to go defensive item in that Mythic and going pure damage, just seeing how much she's relying on her team to be able to peel her. And the Ivern actually rushing the anti-heal, getting his team to be able to just dish out all those anti-heals, stop them from being able to heal up with that. The Xin Zhao already having his own Mythic.
So that Gore Drinker is going to be able to offer a lot of healing for sure, and the Conqueror coming out of the Irelia. But I mean, if they're just able to blow them up before that healing becomes a factor, then that's something that is definitely a route here for the side of Collective Calamity. And we're now 16 minutes into this game, and if we go into our little time machine here, Excel, and we look at where these teams were at 17 minutes into the game last game, it's a night and day story.
Yeah, we're looking a lot better from CC in this game. I think they're a lot more comfortable, and even though they did let the Diana get through and get taken up, I think that this protect comp that they have going for them is just working out very well.
Yeah, certainly, and we are now just seeing kind of the NA ram here in the mid lane as we're doing a 1-3-1 DZG shift to their bot lane, mid lane. Aelor's kind of hanging out here, but I think it's going to be CC turning their sights onto this Rift Herald.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good pickup. It helps them get some sort of push down, because we do see that they are lacking the turret damage. They want to try to open up this mid lane so they can look for team fights in the enemy jungle.
Certainly, and with the first tower still being available for either side, actually, just kidding, Dopamine in the bot lane gets it. So I think that's actually a well-played response for DZG. It was like, okay, cool, take the Rift Herald, and we'll just get first tower gold into Dopamine, who is just going to be able to deal so much damage on this Diana, and hopefully, in the best situation for DZG, blow up one of these carries before they're really able to impact a fight here. But this mid lane tower from the side of Collective Calamity is setting extremely low, and DZG I think should probably eventually set their sights onto that as well, as Irelia just an absolute dominant 47 CS lead up here in the top lane.
Yeah, I'm actually looking here, and I really don't like the build path from the Diana. I do not like to see the Hourglass here. You're not going to need it, I don't think. I think that what we really should see is a Shadow Flame purchase as soon as possible, seeing that the Braum and the Ivern are just going to be peeling those carries the whole time. The shield breaking and the Magic Pen is just going to be so useful for the Diana.
DZG do end up striking into the mid lane tower, and they will get that in their pockets. But I do agree, Diana needs to go in and blow people up before she gets blown up. And granted, yeah, Zhonya's is going to buy you time, but it's also going to buy the enemies some time to posture as well. As Aelor came downstairs with Cooper, dropped that Rift Herald, and picked up a tower to answer in response. DZG, 10 seconds on the strike, and I think it's where they're wanting to focus around now. As I think that's actually all 10 members on the map here now, on the bot side of this map, looking to maybe fight over this Infernal Drake, as we are looking at another Infernal setup here in this game too.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at every single ultimate in the game up. I mean, I'd like to see some really big fights, and Nar's actually about to go rage mode. I mean, he's looking for the flank.
We have every summoner as well, Juice, but first CT really needs to find something here as DZG. You're focusing on Daisy as it gets a two-man knockup, and I think Nor had the opportunity, but maybe wasn't coordinated with the rest of his team, and still has the opportunity to look for something. Still is Mega. Does get stunned on the bags now, as it will be Gopami going in the back line, getting a lot of damage on the Travis, but those shields coming in clutch. He does go gold, as it will be Jinx falling down to Leo the Lion. Skills going out now. Nar falls, Iron falls, Dragon falls. It's actually picked up by Braum of all people. DZG pick up almost an ace as Aelor is the only one to survive, and they did not lose a single member here. DZG now need to try to figure out what they can do with these death timers as they're barreling down the mid lane.
Yeah, I think that team fight was a bit too scattered out of CC. I think that they kind of ignored the Diana when that's what they should be focusing on. The Diana's the one that's going to be diving you. Diana dashed in, got her ultimate, and actually the early Hourglass ended up making a really big part of that fight there because she was going in 1v4, 1v5, and yeah, it was able to hold enough time for Irelia to come in and get a very big ultimate and able to dash onto the backline and finish off that Jinx for her.
Yeah, and we were dissing it a little bit. We're like, hey, you don't need the hourglass to buy time, but we talked about the dive buddy of Xin Zhao coming in for Diana when we were in the draft phase, but it looks like Leo on this Irelia is going to be all the dive buddy that Gopamine needs. As Gopamine set up the dominoes and Leo just pushed them over. Picking up that shutdown onto Travis was absolutely huge, and from there, the rest of the side of CC just fell apart. Now, it's not an all bad news day for the side of Collective Calamity. They did get that third Drake. They are now sitting on Soul Point, and that is going to be a point of contention here in the next 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's probably why they lost the fight so hard. I think they were a bit too focused on securing the dragon. The Braum even able to like run away and able to secure it himself. I don't think that is what DCG was expecting, but they did take the fight and go I think it was 4-0 in that fight, which is very, very good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then them getting all those kills fairly clean was beautiful. Unfortunately, though, the Drake going over is something that, like we said, Collective Calamity can feel good about. But now we're going to have Nash on the table as well. So DZG have access to a lot of the map because they were able to break down that tier 2 mid lane. So now we're getting into that awkward point of, gold games of the mid game macro. We are sitting 5K ahead here for the side of DZG, so that feels good, but they need to execute properly because this Jinx is not a non-threat for sure. But Leo here might have a little bit of a opportunity to ruin the first TT's day. Let's see how he wants to play this one, as first TT has no clue that this is here. Stun does not connect, Enchanted Crystal Arrow does not connect, but Leo, the sexy lion, does not care, and he does take down Gnar extremely freaking fast.
Yeah, Irelia just completely shredding through that Mars.
Oh no, Gopamine goes in and gets the damage out, but it will be enough. Gravity Field will not be enough to stop Gopamine, as he is now on a killing spree as well. Solo kills coming in for both of the solo laners here as Leo and Gopamine just making it look easy.
Yeah, just the dash resets over and over again. Nana just able to stick onto that Victor, even with the gravity field stopping it for a period of time.
For the most part, with the exception of that first death in the mid lane, Gopamine has been able to navigate these gravity fields with precision. And just knows that, okay, cool, I have about this much time to really play around before I get stunned, and is able to dash out, utilize that E to fantastic efficiency, to really deal with that hard CC coming out for Victor. And DZG, they're once again in the driving seat of this game.
Yeah, I think that there is still a bit of a threat if the side of CC is able to pick up that Dragon Soul and look to even Elder Dragon after that, but I don't think there's really a fighting chance, seeing that they just keep taking these team fights and just aren't even able to do anything, and then they get picked one after another like that.
The problem that I've been seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, But it's just most of your engaged threat really is coming out of the side of the first ET, and he just really hasn't shown any sort of effectiveness to really be able to deliver that engage factor. So what the side of CC really should hope for is an over engage or set up in a defensive reactionary posture to deal with Gopamine and Irelia, and they just haven't done it because they've been looking like this amalgamation of aggressiveness and defensiveness that just has not been working out for them.
Yeah, I mean, we see here Diana like having a really good angle to go in with 2-3 people behind her, but it's just she's just going in to poke off that Victor shield because they want to be able to just one-shot those carries.
Well, DZG took the top lane tower and then call Leo into its play here as we will be looking at 15 seconds on this Infernal Drake. And I gotta say, I think Zexel, this is gonna be a huge swing point in this game. If DZG overreact, overcommit to something, it's a great chance for CC to come back in. Or if maybe they're able to just secure the Drake, that Infernal giving them a lot of stats to both the Victor and the Jinx here as it started up on DZG's side and they kind of backed off. But good to see the dance here, Zexel.
Yeah, we do see here actually the Ashe picking up her second item, but a lot of the other players on DZG just not able to finish off their items, though. They're a bit behind
Megadar
the
is
spikes.
kicking down here as they're trying to look for something now. As soon as it went down, Symphonic goes ahead aggressively. Leo, the sexy line, gets a beautiful ultimate off, and Gopamine is in there in the back line as well, and it will be a double kill going over to Gopamine. Both Jinx, Ivern, fall, damage is coming out. Rom falls, Symphonic does fall in return, but that will be DZG with a beautiful 4-man wait as just getting a Enchanted Crystal Arrow does connect. Silent Element with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Silent Element with the triple kill.
Yeah, that was a very mad engage out of the Irelia, and the Diana with the very long flank, able to get a 3 or 4-man ultimate there. That was very unfortunate for CC's side, and they just pretty much just got walked through.
Absolutely, and you know, DZG had so much patience there, and you could tell that was their thought process. Even if you weren't sure that's what they were going to do, as soon as that Mega Gnar went to Mini, Symphonic was in. Irelia came looking for that angle, hit like 3 members up with that ultimate, and then Gopamine just over the wall connecting and blowing up both Travis and Cooper. And from there, the dominoes set up once again, and they all just fell in rapid succession. Alor might have survived again, but Silent Element Sniper Ashe build here just takes him down, and DZG just navigating these team fights so beautifully, Zexel, so fucking beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sat here just thinking, what do we want to see out of CC to try to come back into this game? Because with that team fight, I think every single player on the side of DZG has picked up or finished their item. Like, we have the Death's Dance on both Irelia and Xin. We have the Shadow Flame coming out for Diana. And those are just some massive item spikes to keep them more durable and have so much more damage coming out on their side. And I just don't know what CC is going to be able to do against this team.
Well, they need to figure it out here because they no longer have a short time clock going to this next Drake, which should have been some sort of leverage to get them in. Now, granted, they still have a scaling threat here, but if they're not able to navigate these fights and keep Travis or Alor in a position to really be effective, then it's going to be hard. And DZG are doing a fantastic job of yet having a 3-man dive comp. They haven't been very clustered or have given a lot of the weapon engagement zones here to the side of a collective Calamity. Now, this Nash should be on the table here, and it's going to be another 3 minutes before that pressure point of Drake is available.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a lot more better vision coming out of Calamity. I want to see them be able to ward off and fend off these flanks, because either Diana or the Irelia is just getting really big ultimates every single fight, and they're just not able to fight through it because of it.
DZG, if they have any sort of heads up here, they should know that they're relatively safe to start this up. But they're just kind of posturing, maybe looking for a Death Rush here, and nope, Max says, hey, I'm going to smack it. And DZG should just be able to push this. There is the Rage Blade available here for the Ashe. And Super Mega Death Rocket comes in, but will not actually find anything. Alor does have access to the teleport and is opting to teleport now. Bomb here looking, does get connected with Silent Elements, maybe looking for the ultimate, and does connect with 3 members. Gopamine does absolutely obliterate Travis in a heartbeat. Bomb falls next to happens, it will be Leo smacking on Cooper, and Cooper actually lives. It will be now Aylor going gold, and double kill does go into the pocket of Silent Elements, as he will pick up that victor as well. DZG say, hey, we got 3 kills. Now we're turning onto this Nash, and that should fall. DZG just once again coming up massive.
Yeah, I think that the Jinx is mispositioning quite a bit. I think it's a bit unlucky that the Thresh was just hiding right out of vision, past behind that bush, and Jinx just walks up a bit too far and gets instantly killed after being hooked.
Certainly, and the bully did Nar's job for him, right? Walked in there, hit Silent Elements with the Q, got the passive applied, hit 3 members with the ultimate, but I think Glacial Fissure. But the rest of Collective Calamity was just not there to follow up. Nar, I think, was running for his life up there in the topside jungle, with Mega just picking away. Didn't even get a chance to use the ultimate there. And the follow up that the bully tried to create, it just wasn't there. As Dopamine just came in and just annihilated 2 members, the bot lane, sorry, of Collective Calamity. So DZG just outperforming every single team fight in this series has been fantastic to watch.
Yeah, I think if we can see Travis and Aylor just able to not be in these fights, and we see the front line out of CC able to actually play up a bit more without, the dive being able to get onto the back line of CC, they might have a chance. But the more and more these team fights are just going wrong, the harder and harder it's going to be for them, because they're just going to end up shredding through your front line.
Well, Collective Calamity have a decision to make. Do they opt to try to contest this Infernal and hope that they can get it this time and win the team fight? Or do they just try to farm up some of these waves that are getting pushed into them with the Nash available? And I don't know if either choice is the right choice here, as Leo is just going to be pressuring hard onto this top side. DZG have 10 seconds on this Drake to spawn, and they have just absolute control as they have a massive wave here on the bot side. They have Leo applying so much pressure on the top side, but Zexel, I think they're going to go after Leo here. Now we are seeing Leo trying to navigate this a little bit here as he does get the ultimate off, and I don't think it will be enough as Leo is fighting 4 members once again, and he is shut down. An Enchanted Crystal Arrow does come from downtown and smacks into Cooper, but it won't be enough as DZG pick up the Drake for the cost of their top laner's life.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Irelia is like, oh, I'm going to go for the 1v4. Crystal Arrow is going to come in, basically just going to get a quadra kill. Didn't really work out that way.
Certainly not, but DZG, I guess they should feel happy that they got themselves the second Infernal. But, also at the same time, it doesn't really offer them that much. I think they could use that as a way to bait Collective Calamity to come out of their base a little bit, maybe try to play around it, and then abuse them, instead of, just leaving Leo up there to die. I think maybe if they had put all their members in the bot lane and just did a 4-1 split, then the things could have gone a lot better instead of just picking up a Drake for their woes. But I don't know. What do you think's better, barreling into the base or picking up a second Infernal Drake?
I mean, I would have liked to see them not go for the 4v4, but just look for vision in their own jungle and maybe even go for Ivern to take the steal, because he had both his ultimate, he had his flash up. I mean, just suffering just the Ivern death to try to fight for the dragon is almost worth it, because Ivern's not really worth that much in this current moment in the game.
Certainly. And I mean, he's not even able to do the one thing that we were hoping that he was going to be able to do for Travis, and that's keep him alive. Double Guardian, Ivern Shield, Braum, Wall, all of this is not enough to keep our Travis alive here. So, DZG now just kind of getting back onto the map, and they no longer have access to the Nash. They got a Drake in a tower for their take of that objective. But, we're kind of getting into this moment where DZG is sitting at a 12k gold lead. Yet again, I really want to see the tempo increase here, Zexo.
Yeah, I'd like to see them actually just try to close out this game, get those waves pushing, because it seems like that they're just kind of letting CC just collect the waves.
Right, and last game it wasn't as damning, right? Because there wasn't as much scaling threat, but you do have a Jinx, you do have a Victor, and if they're ever able to start getting some generation in the gold department, I mean, those champions can literally just right-click. Well, Victor a little bit more, but Jinx can literally just right-click and be an absolute menace to society. So.
Yeah, we do think that, but then we do see the Jinx pick up a defensive item, which I don't know if the GA is actually going to do much in this game. I think that they're going to end up killing her and then killing her team, and then she's going to come back to life and she's going to die.
Well, not only the Guardian Angel, like, so they went with the Phantom Dancer as well. So why not go for the Runon's Hurricane on the Jinx to be able to really spread those rockets around versus an enemy dive combo?
Yeah,
So
I think that it's just a bit of build diff down bot lane. I mean, we do see on the other side so much pushing and so much just like utility out of the Ashe. She's just playing support, you know.
and it's going to be absolutely devastating here if Ashe is really ever able to tack onto people and really build up the Rage Blade. But it will be the bully going forward here, as we do see the teleport now being channeled in from Leo here, and DZG will go forward. Chanted Crystal Arrow does connect on A, little damage coming up now, but Symphonic is in the front line by himself. A lot of damage going up. DZG get lobbed into the wall. A lot of damage coming out now. Silent almost doing everything they can, but it will be shutdowns going over to the side of CC. They do pick up 4 members. Silent Elements is the only one left alive. And DZG, that is the fight that you did not want. That is what we were concerned about seeing. And it will be Silent Elements next one. The chopping block as this damage is going to come out. Victor does shut down Ashe, and that will be an ace for the side of Collective Calamity.
Yes, that was an amazing fight coming out of CC there. At first, I did question the Braum letting the Victor just get stunned up by that enchanted crystal arrow and backing off, but as soon as the Gnar teleport came in, he delivered a 3-man ultimate, just basically setting up Jinx to get all these rockets onto the enemy team, and that was pretty much just the whole fight from there.
The Victor just able to layer the lasers, layer the Chaos Storm, and this is the first time that I think the first CT has actually been able to successfully ult somebody, and it was massive. It was absolutely massive. DZG did not respect the angle that he could come out at, and it will be CC now starting up this Nash. And DZG just aren't in the position to answer it at all. This is going to be their objective.
Yeah, we do see Victor actually picking up another item. That's actually very, very good for them, because this Victor's getting on his items is scaling up, becoming an absolutely massive threat.
Well, we have 16 seconds on this strike, and this should be a fight for this as well. Mega Gnar is soon to be available. DZG need to play like they have played this in the past. Patient, respectful, wait for that to fall, then take your fight. Because if they don't have the CC to really give Travis and Aylor the opportunities here, then it's just not going to matter. But oddly enough, it's going to be Collective just sacrificing this Drake for free.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Gnar went and hit minions in the mid-wave and was basically just making sure that the Gnar bar was filled up, making him have to go Mega super early. That was probably not the best if they were planning to fight.
But I mean, it's not all doom and gloom, right? It wasn't the side of DZG Soul. Now, fortunately for the side of DZG, that is a triple stacked Infernal, so those damage multipliers coming in pretty big there feels probably pretty good for the side of DZG. But they don't have to fight this now. This wasn't the doom or gloom Drake, right? They have 4 minutes now to get as much gold as they can into their Victor, into their Jinx, and hopefully set up at least a good vision fence for the next one to spawn. So not all terrible for Collective.
Yeah, I actually do see that off of that reset, the Jinx was able to pick up the IE, which is probably why they decided to just give up the Dragon and wait for the next team fight, because the Jinx getting that IE is just so much damage.
Symphonic getting a little bit of damage here, as I don't think he's going to be able to collect the Lantern, and it will be the first CT going through, and the first CT is now on a rampage, as Symphonic will fall, Tier 2 tower will fall, and Collective Calamity with a strong push towards this base here, because I think they're going to break into the base of DZG.
Yeah, I think that they're going to get inhib here. I don't know if they're going to be able to fight it off with the Diana coming back in, but...
Oh, they are looking for it as Hook goes wide, does not connect, and it will be the side of Collective Calamity trying to get more here. The dive team of DZG opting to not go in. Maybe they don't feel comfortable with Symphonic being dead and taking the 4v5. First CT is starting to rebuild his rage bar here, as both the Bully and him are kind of stepping forward. Gravity Field coming in, and Collective Calamity is not leaving the space. Death Sentence hits Minion, and it will not be enough, as that will be the first Nexus Tower to fall. DZG, you need to do something now as your second Nexus Tower falls. Leo the Lion goes in, but he was not synced up with Gopamine. He goes gold. Gopamine! Holy hell! 4 members! 2 Guardian Angels top, and it will be the first CT going unstoppable as he does take down Gopamine, but that will be Travis falling as well. 4 members of the side of Collective Calamity do fall, but that is an exposed Nexus Sexcel. This is gonna be hard for DZG to hold on to. Teleport now going into bot lane, as it will be Leo trying to get some tempo back here for the side of DZG, and the members of DZG trying to do something with these death timers, but there's just nothing really on the board for them to take. They don't have the minion waves, they don't have the teleports here. So I think this is just going to be DZG needing to play really respectful of their open nexus here. XXL.
Yeah, I mean, in that team fight, we did see they were just waiting. They were waiting for the 5v5, and Irelia actually found the angle. She was able to get the 4-man ultimate and able to dive onto that Jinx and stun her up, so Diana was able to flash in and get a 4-man ultimate. And just the Hourglass coming in clutch, able to make her survive throughout the entire thing and get almost instant kill 4 of them.
Yeah, that was so big, and she practically did. The only reason it wasn't instant kills is because they popped the Guardian Angel of Jinx, and I think, okay, that was the only Guardian Angel available to him, but now DZG, like, you can't really step out here in a minute and 45 seconds. There is a teleport available for the first ET. There is a teleport available for Aloy, and if you stall again like that, you will lose the Nexus, so DZG really need to be careful for that backdoor approach.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a little bit of a fight for this dragon, and by that I mean I'd like to see CC actually give up the dragon and go for the Nexus.
That would be absolutely fun to watch, not so much as a DZG fan, because we do have that objective spawning in a minute. And it is soul for both teams, so DZG really need to identify where they want to be able to, do they feel comfortable playing aggressive? Are they able to push these waves out enough to not really give an avenue for anybody to sneak in? Fortunately, there's nothing like an Evelyn, there's nothing like a Twitch or a Shaco to get into the base and really be too disruptive, but if Aloy is able to get in there, he's able to do damage to objectives relatively quick. Now we are seeing the posture around this Drake. 45 seconds here, and the first CT is hovering around with a good set of rage. Hopefully he's a little bit smarter this time, as we are seeing on the way pings coming in from the side of Collective Calamity here, pinging into the base. We do see the inside track from Ivern, Braum, pretty much the whole entire team. DZG need to start channeling recalls, as we're seeing an interesting dance. Now
They're
seeing the
going
teleport
in.
coming in.
They're teleporting.
Oh no, this could be it. DZG
This is the back
are not
door.
in the position. There is the chance of Crystal Arrow, but it's not going to buy enough time. It did not hit Arson Travis. Damage coming out. The 4-man resort to this Nexus, and DZG will lose game 2. It's just an insane push.
That's what I'm talking about.
DZG.
That's what I'm talking about, and that's what I wanted to see out of CC, because if they walked into another team fight where they didn't have the vision and they got flanked in the jungle, that was not going to go their way.
And DZG just did not have the defensive vision to even start channeling the recalls in time to stop that. And oh, that is so tragic. You hate to see it if you're a DZG fan, but you know, Collective Calamity were not in the driving seat at any point during the game. And you know, they just got one good push, and that's all they needed to really open up their win condition. But well played, Collective Calamity, as we're gonna get here postured for game 3 here in just a couple moments. But some closing thoughts on game 2 there, XXL.
Yeah, I think that we saw more positives out of Collective Calamity that game. I think that we see that the Jinx, honestly, it did a lot. It's just the mispositioning was a bit too much, and I think that's probably the reason that they lost a bit of their fights. I don't think the peel from the Braum and the Ivern was enough for them. I'd like to see a little bit more defensive picks, out of their team, and then maybe we can see that Jinx and Victor get online. But I'd like to see what they have going into the next game.
Certainly, certainly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a game 3 on our hands. This will be a series. As hang tight just a little bit, we'll be bringing you that game 3 draft. But hey, game 3s are always the most fun, so hang tight. We'll be bringing you game 3 draft, DZG Elysium versus Collective Calamity very shortly.
Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up, babe. Tonight we gonna light it up. want you to come over. I wish that you would come and give me something to prove. Won't you pull me closer? I think that I'm obsessed with everything that you do. I'm waiting, trying to be patient. You look like a painting. It's so frustrating. I hate it, yeah. I probably shouldn't say this. I probably should erase it. I probably shouldn't say this. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, call me a fan. I'm living, give me your hand. I'm in it, yeah. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do. We've been making magic, and sometimes I get nervous, but too good to believe. I don't know how it happened, but baby, I'm ecstatic that you're sticking with me. I'm waiting, trying to be patient. You look like a painting. It's so frustrating. I hate it, yeah. I probably shouldn't say this. I probably should erase it. I probably shouldn't say this. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, call me a fan. I'm living, give me your hand. I'm in it, yeah. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do.
Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. Now with you, now with you, that I get when looking down from the sky. Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back bringing you the Game 3 draft between DZG Elysium and Collective Calamity here. As instantly hitting into it, the Jinx is taken away, Trundle's taken away. Now DZG Elysium is back on the blue side as we are seeing that, Game 3 Blitzcrank taken away as well. And Collective Calamity don't want to see that Hecarim come in for the first pick blue side. So, Zaxel, what are some things that you're really hoping to see DZG change, maybe even Collective Calamity change here for Game 3?
I mean, I don't think that Elysium played that bad. I think that their comp was a bit reliant on the enemy making mistakes, which is why I think they got a bit ahead last game. But as we saw, it didn't really matter. CC was able to pick up some team fights, and even in that super late game, they were able to get the Nexus.
Certainly, and that bot lane play really just shattered the game. Um, for Collective Calamity to really to make a strike back. They were able to get the Nash, barrel down into the mid lane, get the pick on Symphonic, and exposing that Nexus was really all they needed. So DZG once again opting to really not want to deal with that Victor. Corki in the mid lane, maybe they look to pick up the Corki since they banned the Victor. So yeah, it's definitely seemed DZG's draft was better suited on the blue side for sure. Now, not having access to the Hecarim is a little bit of a feels bad moment for the side of DZG, especially since last game at the end of the day, Symphonic only did 8k damage on the Jinzhao, but we're seeing a first pick Wukong here, XL.
Yeah, I think Wukong's actually really strong. It's flexible between mid, top, and jungle. Obviously, it depends on the players. I think that it can be slotted into a lot of team comps, so you can split push. He can even be in team comps that can be the main engage. I think it's really suitable for first pick. I probably would have preferred a Corki here, but the
Well,
Shed actually going over.
yeah, Shen will actually be the response to it. So we haven't really seen the too much out of the first ET, but Shen's a completely different playstyle than what he's had the last two games.
Yeah, but Shen actually is one of the most contested picks right now because he basically has teleport before 14 minutes. He's able to get all over the map, and even if he does ultimate out, he's able to TP back in whenever he wants to.
Well, another thing that's really hitting this draft and shaking things up is the fact that Mags will no longer be on this thresh and DZG will pick up a TK.
I think TK is a bit too slow from what we've been seeing, but I think that it brings a lot more defensive. I'd like to see something like the Kog'Maw or the Aphelios come out here. If it's another Ashe, I don't think they really need the Tahm Kench, but...
Well, we are going to hopefully see an 80 carry pickup here in the next few seconds as... No, it will actually be the Jarvan 4 locked in for the jungle of DZG Elysium, so they're holding off of the 80 carry pick and opting to go for the jungle pickup here, and LCC need to strike back with their R3.
Yeah, I really wasn't sure about a jungle pick here. I mean, unless they have something planned for this ADC pick, maybe a Ziggs for this big team fight. I mean, Misfortune even for this Womble combo, but actually the Corki does go into the hands of CC, which is a really big scaling hyper carry for their side.
And especially since DZG really don't have access to the Victor to match against it here, since that was actually banned by them, and they opted to not pick up the Corki once that one side of the matchup was taken away. But DZG now going after the bans. They have jungle and 80 carry left to focus, and I feel like you don't get as much mileage out of those bans, but they opt to take away the Ezreal here, which has not been piloted yet by the side of Travis here, who did play Jhin game 1 and then also played the Jinx game 2. Nico and Orianna taken away from Gopamine here, so he's going to have to play something new as well since his Diana was taken away in the first ban phase. And I definitely going to see some new stuff, which is exciting.
Yeah, on the red side, I'd actually really like to see a dive jungler, something that can set up this Shen and this Corki to basically just put in the work. I think that they're obviously probably going to hold this ADC pick for last, seeing that that's what the enemy team hasn't shown. I think that they don't want to. I don't think they want to just blindly put in this ADC pick since they seem so prioritized on getting the counter on both sides. And we do see the Xin Zhao, which actually is a very nice dive champion for their team.
Now, you asked for the dive, you got the dive. Xin Zhao coming into the side of Cooper's hands, and now DZG need to strike back and pick up that 80 carry that I personally am so interested in seeing what they want to pair up with this TK and really have Silent Elements be able to pop off with if that is the play here. 4 seconds onto the first pick, and they're going to go with a Yone here coming in to Gopamine's hand. So
spicy
this
mid
might be the
laner.
Ziggs coming out here in the bot lane. You might have called that one correctly, so they could have some sort of AP threat. But that's right now what DZG is extremely lacking.
This looks like a very spicy team fight composition. I don't know how well it's going to work unless they bait out the Corki package or the Zinjao to initiate first.
Well, I mean, they showed a lot of patience last game, waiting for the Nard to utilize, and it will be a Vigar coming in for Silent Elements here. And we know this man loves his control mages. It's not the Ziggs, but
It is
but it
another
is
mage.
AP damage. It certainly is AP damage.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more short ranged. It's actually a lot harder in this team comp, I think. Up against a lot of divers with the Corki package, the Thresh, and the Shen, and the Sinjao able to get onto this Vigar. Hopefully, the cage is able to help diminish that a little bit. And it's actually up against the Vayne, which I think is really good in this comp because it's able to shred through their front line. But it is one at a time.
True. And I'm actually okay with the Vayne pick if I'm a DZG fan here, because I was worried that they would have something with a little bit longer range to really hurt this Vigar and target that weakness. But they opt for the short range versus short range matchup. And Baby Cage is a fantastic zoning tool, especially at this elo. So I'm really excited to see how these team fights are going to play out. And either way, no matter what happens, I think we're going to have a spicy game on our hands.
Yeah, I think this is a very spicy one indeed, with the Yone, the Vagar, and even the Vayne and the bot lane into Vagar. They must have planned for the Vayne counter pick. Hopefully, it goes well for them.
Well, one thing to consider here is that we've seen 2 games come out of Travis. His Jhin was okay, but his Jinx definitely had some positioning issues, to say the least. Now, one thing that I'm kind of hoping, just a little bit of bias here, is that we get to play Vayne spotting. Travis is not able to 100% execute his positioning here. But with that being said, we've seen both team comps. For the side of Elysium, we have Wukong in the top lane, Jarvan coming into the jungle, Yone in the mid lane, and Vigar Tahm Kench in the bot lane. Now, there's the potential that it could be a Yone Wukong swaparoo, and you see the Yone go top, but I doubt it. For the side of CC, we have Shen in the top lane, Jin Zhao in the jungle, Corki mid with a Vayne Thresh bot lane. We've seen both teams excel. Who are you really giving the edge to?
Yeah, I think after both games, in a pretty much dominating fashion in all the team fights, Elysium is just taking everything. I think that they're just going to run away with this game.
Well, definitely hope they run away with it. Now, what? So, I think you pretty much hit the point of contention there. Is you really want to see DZG win the team fights. Now CC had lackluster team fight performance in the first 2 games. For being honest, what is really their way to win?
I mean, looking at their team comp, they actually have a lot of catch potential, with the Zinjao being able to dash in and knock up one target, the Thresh lockdown, the Shen taunt, and even the Vayne knock into the wall. Just all single target, very high CC duration champions, which does help you kill one target, but we do see on the other side that there are a lot of tanky targets. So it is going to be quite hard for them to shred through that target one at a time unless they can get a very, very caught out enemy champion with good vision, which we haven't really seen.
Certainly. Well, we kind of heard it here, as we are seeing that the will actually be the Wukong going into Leo's hands and Yone going into Dopamine's hands. And one thing that we really didn't talk too much about, and I'm actually interested to see, is normally you see Corki Victor. How do you feel about Yone Corki?
I think it is very Corki favored. I'm not gonna lie. I think if Yone ever goes for the E in into the Q in, I don't think that it's ever going to land if Corki plays safe enough. And I think that Corki's just going to get free auto attacks over and over again. I think the one thing that the Yone could do to try to play into this lane is go fleet footwork over the lethal tempo, giving a bit more mobility. But I don't think that's really applicable, since it does look like they are looking for big scaling team fights where the Yone will need the attack speed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've seen everything that we've seen. All the champions locked in, everybody getting ready, choosing their loadouts. But this will bring us into the next spectate delay, and we will go ahead and bring you very shortly Game 3 of DZG Elysium versus Calamity Collective. Hang tight.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it rain.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. DZG Elysium taking to the Rift versus Collective Calamity for the third time tonight. And once again, the 5-man stack coming out of Collective Calamity is third time in a row. Definitely sussed out here by Gopamine, as they should not be able to get anything more out of
30
this. But
seconds until
joined again here by Zexel. And what are some of your thoughts as we're heading into this one?
Yeah, so I'm looking here at the builds. I mean, we expected the Corki to win a scale. We're looking at top lane. It doesn't look like it's anything too crazy. Grass, Conquer. The Veigar actually running Predator, which that's normally a mid lane rune because you want to be able to roam and get some kills with Veigar.
minions
Right
have
now,
spawned.
I probably wouldn't have suggested it as the ADC. I don't think you're going to be roaming that much. I guess it helps you get back to lane. I think you'd probably prefer something more scaling, but it
Dark
does help a
Harvest
bit.
would have been beautiful to see, especially if he's able to ever get snowballing with his Vygar pick. Um, but yeah, so certainly some interesting rune choices here, but yeah, it looks like we're going to be starting off with a Cloud Drake, and I really always love to see the potential of a Jarvan level 2 gank as well, but I haven't seen it too often lately.
Yeah, we do see the Zinjao starting top, and Wukong actually going for the same thing they did a couple games ago, just for free damage in the bush.
Yeah, and the top gap has been pretty big. I think Leo has just had the first CT number all game, but we're actually seeing level 2 game coming out of Cooper onto Gopamine. He's knocked up and he will fall as Cooper gets the first blood onto Gopamine's
Yeah, that's actually exactly what we want to see. We want to see the Zinjao gank working out super early, getting this Yone behind. I mean, it pretty much just sets up the Corki just to scale even faster.
Yeah, and well, fortunately he did get the kill, but Cooper getting the kill early and able to do some work here is going to be good for the side of Collective, and Gopamine getting a lot of damage out here, but did sacrifice a bit of CS to get that trade. Hopefully the lane pressure that he gets is going to be worth it, as Alor will be recalling off that.
Yeah, it looks like Alo's going to go back and maybe TP back in so he doesn't lose any farm, but I would like to see something happen down here in this bot lane before Veigar's level 3, because I'd assume that there is no cage yet.
Yeah, he should have gone with the QW right now and holding on for the baby cage, but and Travis just really not looking forward for anything, and then the bully is I don't think he's hit a death sentence yet, but he did play he has played Hook Champions. I mean, obviously he's got his he had his Nautilus in game 1, and then he's always had his Blitzcrank ban, so hopefully he's able to land some death sentences and we're able to see some action, but it's going to be Cooper just hanging around on this spot side of the map and aiming to get the Scuttle Crab, but Symphonic and Yone are here now looking for him, and it will be Gopamine going on and forcing out Cooper's flash pretty quickly.
Yeah, I do like Gopamine actually being able to rotate there. To fight the Zinjao for Scuttle Crab is a little late. He's able to get it. He's able to flash out. Could punish.
Yeah, certainly now DZG should, rotate Symphonic up to get that other Scuttle Crab here, and might leave Silent Elements and Mags down here a little vulnerable in case Cooper wants to come back down, and I think come back down is exactly what he wants to do, as he's now looping around onto that tower, as Gopamine's getting some favorable trade. Lanark coming in, is able to pull Cooper in. Wind Become Lightning does not connect, but Death Sentence does, and Silent Elements is in a little bit of a dangerous position. Pops the baby cage. Flashes coming out will be enough, and he does get a lot of mileage there, as it was his flash, but he was able to survive there, and that is huge. Well played, Silent Elements.
Yeah, as we're talking about in between the games, before Champ Select is over, the Vayne actually, the range is just not enough to secure that kill. She flashes into the cage to try to finish off the Veigar with the auto attack, and it's just not enough, and ends up walking into stun.
Yeah, and this is like the third time that they've almost gotten a kill in the bot lane, that Travis has almost gotten the kill, but it was just through the skin of their teeth, DZG is able to walk that one out. And, Silent Elements, I was a little scared about that flash. Oh no, that is a baby cage connector with Vayne damage coming out now on the Travis. The exhaust is popped. Lands are coming out here, but won't be enough, and no ward was dropped on to stop it. And Travis barely lives, but well played DZG with the baby cage Tom Kench follow-up.
Yeah, we're seeing some really good trades in the mid lane here, actually. I don't think that Alor is super experienced on the Corki and to the Yone matchup.
And yeah, Dopamine is navigating this fantastically, getting the well trades. He's actually winning most of these trades that he's taking, and staying very even in CS in what should be a losing lane matchup. But it will actually be the taunt coming in for first CT to get away, as Leo is just hard pressuring this top lane, already with a 10 CS lead. And DZG for the first time this series looking to get the first straight kill.
Yeah, for that really nice baby cage on the bot lane, on the Vagar, or on the Vayne, forcing them to have to base. They do pick up that first dragon, which is a Windrake.
Well, and that means that the next Drake, since you can't see it on your screen, it's actually going to be the Hextech Drake here, as First TT has used his taunt every single time to just get away from this aggression that Leo's Wukong is putting out, and just keeps going in every single time he has Nimbus Strike available. But it will be Cooper here on the top side of the map. Leo the Lion pops his ultimate, tack 1, tack 2, and will it be enough when Become Lightning does connect, but it hits the clone. Well played, Leo. That was some fast fingers. He was able to save his flash and
Yeah, that was a very safe way of playing Wukong. I think Xin Zhao might have messed up and used the W a bit early, or a bit late, because he wasn't actually able to see the Wukong go invisible.
yeah, and then when he did hit him, that was well played by Leo. And like I said, saving that flash was beautiful as well. And he still almost got the kill into the first TT. And I think he actually, in that exchange, burned the first TT's flash. So Leo just, once again, setting up shop in the top lane. And the rest of DZG holding pretty steady. And what I feel should not be ideal matchups, and Symphonic is actually is able to get the CS lead here onto Cooper, just because Cooper's been trying to gank so much.
Yeah, it does look a bit slow. I mean, down in the bot lane, the matchup isn't very fortunate for either of them. They're both just a bit farmy. In the mid lane, you'd like to see some kills come out, some ganks. I mean, maybe J4 is able to punish the Corki while the W is down. They can get something, but other than that, it's not really gankable. And then, as we've been seeing these fights top lane, it's just the Wukong is just maneuvering so well. He's just able to get out of the 2v1 gank and not even have to blow his flash. It's just impossible for CC to get anything from DZG.
Well, it'll be about 30 seconds before the Herald spawns. Max is already on the top side of the map trying to help establish some of that vision control. I think that's something DZG really want to get into their pockets, try to get one of these carries ahead, so they're able to just do a lot of work here. I mean, you look at any of these champions, if they're able to get gold into their pockets, they're going to be an absolute menace to society. Leo's, Wukong, like he's had it banned away from him how many times? Really excited to see what he can do with this champion. You give Yone a lot of gold. Beautiful. You give Silo Omens a lot of gold in this Flyguard, he's going to be able to just delete somebody from Summoner's Rift. And if you're able to delete either Corki or Vayne from the game, that's going to feel damn good in the team play. So literally any lane that they choose to drop this into should be 100% value added. Now, if you had to pick between one of the three, where would you ideally like to place it?
I mean, seeing how this game is going, I'd really like to see the Vagar get some gold. They are playing away from him. They're trying to let Vagar just farm up in this bot lane up against the Vayne, which the only way that Vayne ever actually kills Vagar is if he gets out of the cage and is able to get a real nice ult and chase down the Vagar, but I don't particularly see that happening anytime soon. Especially with the Vayne getting advanced up here.
To play real respectful, because the bully is here looking to land a distance. As soon as Yone pops back, but he runs into the minion wave. Symphonic is now here, and he will go for it. He was confident in the flash cataclysms onto Vicar. Now the Yone falling up. Symphonic will get the kill onto Aelor, but it was also Cooper coming into the mid lane, and just a numbers advantage. So with Stand United coming in, that does mean that two members of DZG fall for just the Corki falling in the mid lane, and a well-reacted play there from the side of Collective Calamity.
Yeah, I think that started out pretty not so good for the side of CC.
Oh, well, Leo is now between a rock and a hard place as he pops the ultimate and tries to get away. I think when Becomes Lightning did hit him there. The damage following up now will be enough, and it will be, as I think that was the red buff that takes down Leo the Lion, and Cooper is on a kill.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we really like to see, the Xin Zhao getting a lot of gold into him so he can, like, power the Vayne and the Corki through this early game and get them into the mid and late game so they can get on their items and scale out.
Yeah, absolutely. And this has actually turned into a 1.5k gold lead here for the side of Collective Calamity. They're navigating this early game better than they have historically in this series. So Cooper doing just a lot of work here, and the reactions coming out from the side of Collective has been huge too. Dopamine trying to trade back some onto Corki, and Corki should have access to his package relatively soon. And Hextech Drake's going to be next thing on the table here in 20 seconds. Now, DZG does have access to the Rift here, if they want to use it as a little bit of a pressure point to really pressure for this Drake. They seem to have a much more objective focus in this game than they have historically, with immediately picking up first Drake and then shifting to over to Rift Herald like 30 seconds before it spawned. Now the Drake is available under the table, and I think it's going to be Herald dropped here in the mid lane for DZG to really apply some pressure.
Yeah,
But Cooper is coming to clear some vision, so thoughts?
yeah, it does seem like it is going to be the 4v4 down here. Neither top laner having the TP, but there is the package out of Corki, which can be really fight deciding. The Rift Herald gets the plates, all of the gold going into J4's pockets because no one else is around to get it.
Yeah, and they really didn't get any mileage or pressure onto this Drake with that as well. 320 gold going into J4's pockets is nice, but it's not as nice as it would going into Yone or maybe even try to break into that mid lane a little bit more. As Wukong fighting on for the Shen, and they gotta keep in mind the timer is Stand United shouldn't be too long from being available again. It's going to be about maybe another 30 seconds before that's available in his pockets, and yeah, that package is able to do a lot of work DZG need to play very respectful here, XL.
Yeah, DZG don't have many scanners. They're just kind of sitting on that Tribush ward, and that's why no one's ever committing to this dragon. They just don't want to do anything unless they're able to get an easy pick on the enemy team.
Well, I think Corki, I couldn't tell there, but I think we lost the visual for his package. I don't think he has it anymore. And DZG just dance around and dissuade either side from taking it, and they do not opt to go into the fight. Maybe the call was, hey, Corki no longer has package, let's go ahead and look forward for this. But Stand United should be about 10 seconds away, and it's going to have to be up to Leo to be able to interrupt this if anything happens. But it actually will just be DZG taking the clean uncontested dragon there, as the side of Collective Calamity, I guess, might not have felt like they could fight that without the package available.
Yeah, I think that kind of just like made them not want to fight anymore. Corki did try to get a couple autos on tower, it looked like, and push in the wave, but I don't think that's going to be worth as much. I think they just stalled out way too much out, and neither team was really able to make anything out of it. Luckily, DZG was able to pick up the dragon.
We are seeing a rotation here from Leo coming into the mid lane, maybe looking for something, as Cooper is also here in the mid lane. Don't know. Yeah, that was his flash there, as he opts to go over the wall. Couldn't tell if he was... he might have been looking at Xinjiao, just a little bit of concern from him. But his Cooper's flash, I think we're relatively free. But so this will actually be the third game in a row that we're going to be on the Infernal map here, XL. So DCG with a 2 Drake lead, that's feeling pretty good for them if they're able to pick that one up super early.
Yeah, I mean, we see these spicy picks. We need another hot map. We need to see the either the Yone or the Veigar. Just, I mean, they're just scaling up. They're looking on their items. The Wukong even just getting this 30 CS lead yet again up in this top lane. We just don't know what to do with him.
Hopefully he's able to do something with that lead that he's generating. Stand United is now available, Teleport is now available, so if he's not able to handle Shen, then Shen's going to go somewhere else, which is probably the best thing for the first ET rather, just because he has not had a good track record this series versus Leo. But yeah, the rest of the map, 3 minutes next for that Inferno Drake. There's not really too much to take, and DZG have a decent CS lead in the bot lane. This Veigar is doing very well, has his tier 2 boots. Yone, granted, got a little bit of love from Cooper in the mid lane, but not doing too bad into the Corki either. So DZG keeping it fairly even despite some of these fights not really going their way.
Yeah, I mean, it's really rough. That they're actually able to keep up, and even though they were able to get leads with Cooper's Xinjiao,
it will be Xinjiao going on to Cooper, and Max tries to follow it up. Cooper pops the ultimate now to try to get away, and his swim becomes lightning, follows it up with Shen on hit top of him. Now, Dopamine looks for something but does not quite connect, as that was a fantastic play from both Cooper and the first ET to synchronize that Stand United into the wind becomes lightning. Now Silent Lumens does get hit by the death sentence, and will be enough. He is going to be taking Force of Flash away, and he is going to be taking a lot of damage. He gets the shutdown on Cooper. That was huge. Now Leo the Lion is here, causes chaos with the ultimate, but it will not be enough, as Dopamine does get the Shen. But I think that was Dopamine falling as well for his troubles, and that was I'm sorry, Shen killed Dopamine, not the other way around. My apologies. And all they got was Cooper, and 3 members of DZG will fall.
Yeah, I think that the DZG might have overcommitted there as soon as the Veigar traded 1-for-1. The Yone just using his ultimate in that firefight in the river, I don't think that they were ready to commit to that. Also, Yone being down quite a bit of gold. I think they need to get him onto an item or two before they can go for these long-term fights.
Well, just Symphonic and Max here, forcing Collective Calamity away and up on the top side of the map. Dopamine is back here now. Maybe they're looking for something. Baby Cage just dropped. Will it be enough? Play away, and it will be the Herald falling. I didn't even see who picked that one up, but Cooper has taken down Silent Luminous. Damage coming back now, but Yone has shut down Thresh. Now damage going on to Macroys on this time catch, and they will fall first. ET on a killing spree. Leo the Lion is the only one left around here as Dopamine went back to the mid lane, and you have to think he's going to fall. It does look like the side of DZG got the Herald, but they lost 4 members for their troubles.
Yeah, they do seem to keep overcommitting. We see the Veigar actually just walk into the middle of the fight and get hooked yet again. Almost instantly died that time because there was no flash out.
Yeah, it was like DZG picked up 2 kills in the Herald, but I do not think that was worth. But I mean, you know, we do look at some of the scaling aspects. Vayne and Corki are going to scale really hard, but so could have Veigar and Yone. It's just a matter of who's going to get that gold first. And right now, it's going to be CC.
Yeah, they do seem to be playing these team fights actually a lot better than they start out with the positioning errors of DZG. I mean, if they continue like this, it looks like they're going to even pick up this Drake because Yone is actually having to base.
Yep, Yone basing, Corki setting on the package, and as long as they don't stall as long as they did last time, this should feel really good for them. And they definitely have the position right now, ideally, but it's actually going to be Symphonic by himself, pretty much, pushing them out of the pit and really forcing them to lose a lot of this control. Herald popped on the bot side, and that's going to be a tower, I imagine, going over to Veigar, as it will be a side of CC starting this Drake up right now. Tower will fall. Now DZG, what are you going to do? They send Symphonic into the pit, but was it too early? Corki drops the package. Symphonic steals the Drake. Now it's going to be Symphonic trying to get damage on the Bully, but it will not be enough. Silent Elements on the backside of the map will kill Corki, and now it's going to be Leo with 4 members surrounding him, trying to do what he can, but it's not going to be enough. When it becomes Lightning does not connect, but a flash forward from Cooper will be not enough as Max goes ahead, picks up Silent Elements, walks out. DZG lose 2 members for 1, but they do get a Drake. I'm sorry, it was not their Drake. Cooper did secure that one. Oh, I apologize.
Yes, the Smite actually got it to about 54 health around, and then the Xin Zhao auto attack was able to secure it.
Unfortunate.
So it's very unfortunate, and Corki actually getting his tier item upgraded now during that fight. I think that Corki's getting very, very strong, and if they're not able to finish off these carries, they're not going to be able to do anything.
Well, I mean, it really hasn't even been the 2 carries that we've been concerned about. Corki died on the backside to just Silent Elements, and Vayne really didn't do too much in that either. It's really been the Cooper show here, as him and the Stand United dropped on top of him almost every single time. He's just been doing a lot of work, and then it feels just like every time Leo is able to sow so much chaos, and then after he's done spinning, he's just standing in between 4 members of the side of CC, and they just all turn their guns onto him, and he just drops like a rock. So DZG, not getting these objectives, that was one of their greatest win conditions right there, was to really start stacking these Drakes. Now, you've got another 7 minutes before that's possible. I'm sorry, 8 minutes before that's possible, and that's this is looking kind of daunting in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we see the Veigar actually pick up Leandri's with this Predator, which I don't really like I mean, they are going up against 2 quite tanky front lines in the Xin Zhao and the Shen, but they're just going to get bursted out. Like, Veigar keeps getting killed every single fight except the last one.
Certainly. And it looks like he's going Seeker's Arm Guard to give himself maybe Pisanya's next. As DZG really need to find their way back into this game, as I feel like this one's starting to slip away from them for the first time in this series. They're actually looking at a 4K deficit. About a 4K deficit here at 19 minutes. Game 1 was a landslide at this timestamp. Game 2 was about even at this timestamp. And Game 3, it's actually CC in the collective. CC in the driver's seat here for this one. So DZG, now it's your turn to need to strike back, need to find a way back into this game, and maybe a pick or two is really going to be what you need. There's only shutdown really available on the Shen though, so something to consider for sure.
Yeah, we do see actually the Luden's Echo picked up by Corki, so there's going to be some massive poke coming out there. And it's just this dive and this lockdown out of the Thresh. These hooks are just hitting, and the Xin Zhao is just able to dash in and just able to take out at least one person every single time he goes in.
Well, it is a fuck ton of damage coming out of Aloy on the sexy line. I think one more rocket's going to do it, and the rest of CC is up here. Leo, I don't think you're going to be able to fancy footwork your way out of this one, as Aloy gets the solo kill onto Leo, and that damage coming out of this Corki is absolutely destructive. That will be a baby cage connecting onto the finest, or the first TT, but it will not be enough damage as that Shen is relatively tanky, and DZG, it feels like this game is just slipping away from him.
Yeah, I mean, the longer this goes, I think the harder it's going to be, because the real main scaling they have is the Vagar, and it's just not dealing enough damage yet.
That was a beautiful interrupt with the ultimate coming out of Xin Zhao, but it was not enough, as Sonic was not able to complete the flag and drag away, but he was able to lock that one out. Salom was with Baby Cage to help him get to safety as Corki takes the tower on the top side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking down here. We do see the Shen almost caught up in farm in comparison to the Wukong in that early game. I'd like to see a lot more pushing out of the Shen. More tower, not even tower taking, just more map pressure. Because he does have the ultimate and the teleport, versus the Wukong only having teleport.
Certainly, and I mean, he seems to be giving it to Cooper almost every single time, but that is another thing to consider too. If they're able even to get the lockdown on Travis or, Aloy here later, they still have to stand united to be able to protect those carries if they're able to shift their focus from the aggressive playstyle to more of a defensive playstyle here from the side of CC. So they have options in their toolkit. But this game isn't completely out of their hands yet. It's only a 3K deficit, right? They still have access to some extremely strong tools. They just need to find their footing, their positioning, and to deliver something deadly. As DZG, you're posturing 3 members strong, or 2 members, yeah, 3 members strong, sorry, up here on the top lane. Now, I mean, going forward on the first TT, but he is going to tick away as he actually takes a lot of damage in that trade. That did not go in his favor at all. Silent Moments actually goes gold there, and must have been a misclick, as not having access to that for a little bit maybe a little harmful, as Leo is now looking to try to get onto this Corki. He's doing a lot of damage. One more auto will be enough, but it does not come through, as he lives with maybe 10 HP.
Yeah, that Corki just coming out with massive damage with these rockets. It does not look like a fun one to the side of the Wukong in that side lane. But it does look like they put 4 people up in that top lane to try to take that tower and kill the Shen, and they didn't even get the tower or the kill. And meanwhile, they lose a tower mid, a tower bottom, and the dragon. I don't know what DZG was thinking.
If they were able to get the kill button, maybe they would have been able to do a lot more since the resources are down there. But the first TT, his first games were extremely lackluster, but he's performing in this one. He finally got a Shen, and he's making it look worthwhile. His package is now available in the base here, and I think DCG will be able to answer real quick if they take this tower. But it's not going to be enough to pour up this deficit they're now looking at.
Yeah, they do get 1 tower back here since CC was on all their resets. We do see Xin Zhao actually pick up Death Stance, making it even tankier of a front line with the Shen ult normally going down on him.
Certainly, well, the bully is now forward-facing into the enemy jungle, trying to get some vision control here, as Nash is the next objective left on the map, since all the outers have been taken from the side of DZG. The Drake has been taken for the side of Collective, and, still a 4K deficit in DZG. Like, what is the answer really here now for them, Zexo?
I think they need to play a bit slower. I think that even though there is poke coming out of the Corki, they can't let the Xin Zhao get onto the backline again. They keep losing because the Xin Zhao and the Shen.
Certainly, and now it seems like Silent Elements really needs to get all of his damage profile out onto Aloy, because this man has finally got his Tiamat, he's got the Ludens, his poke damage is going to be absolutely insane if he ever connects with almost anything. And that was a super quick Nash going over into the pockets of Collective Calamity here, and now they're looking to try to barrel down this mid lane. They have flag and drag access over the wall, but there's real no follow-up outside of it. DZG are bringing their members in, but this is just a complete different look from the side of Collective. Now the bully is a little bit of outside of position. He instantly flashes to get away from Symphonic and Dopamine here. But if all you get out of this is a flash, that's not enough to stop some of this bleeding going on.
Yeah, I think they need to look for these picks. I mean, there's 3 in the mid lane. I'd like to see DZG try to capitalize on that and maybe take the 3v5. Yeah, there's going to be the Chenault coming in no matter what. But I think they just have to look for something.
That second goes over the wall, but I don't think it will be followed up here as Symphonic just clearing out some vision. And yeah, they need a way to get back in this, and maybe their only goal here is to stall out the Nash and just farm up the Nash waves, but they're not even sending anybody to answer in the bot lane, so they need to look for something and look for something soon. As Dopamine goes forward, but Travis flashes out, and I think this play is just going to fizzle out here, and Shen is getting a lot of free damage on this bot lane side, and they got Travis's flash, but once again, I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, we just like peeked over at top lane and Wukong almost got 100 to 0 by just one package. It's very unfortunate.
We might be seeing something now as Baby Cage disconnect. A lot of damage going out to Cole, and he will fall. Symphonic picking up that kill. Cataclysm going out on Travis, and I think it will be an immediate step into that Cataclysm wall. Now, Tower destroyed at the top lane, but it will be a trade kill. And what that was actually Max taking down Cooper here. Symphonic now picking up the kill into Travis. First ET goes in, but I think he's going into his step. Damage coming out now on the first ET. Who's going to get this one? And it will be the shutdown going into Symphonic's pocket. Unfortunately, DZG did not get any golden people that they should have wanted that golden to, but that is 4 quick kills going over to DZG, and that is something to be happy about.
Yeah, I actually really liked that fight. I thought it was a bit sloppy at the beginning because the Predator went off and just wasn't able to catch up to anybody. But after they were able to collapse on that under the tower, even though the Vayne got the Stand United on her in time, it just after Jarvan used the ultimate on to Vayne, the Wukong TP just able to slow down the fight as much as possible, keep the Shen and Vayne off of his team, and just able to go invis and stealthily keep them to occupied that whole time. The Wukong was just enough to stall out that fight long enough to where it didn't matter that the Chenault came in.
Quirky packages available once again on the table as the third and final trick of the game is spawning, and it's once again collected Calamity for the third time in a row, just with the driver position here, and that's going to be a very quick trick going over into their pockets. CC now on Soul Point here as Nash going to be available on the map here in about 3 minutes, and yeah, now it's package immediately used. Symphonic is going to be the target, and he will fall. Shutdown going over into Corky's pocket. That's not what you want to see, DZG fans. Wukong Clone gets eviscerated too, and Stunholm was trying to get a little bit of damage back out, but it will not be enough as one quick pick goes into the pocket of CC.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. J4 is trying to get his jungle camps, and several people pop up and kill him.
And Corky said, hey, well, if I can't use the packaged Valkyrie onto the drag fight, I'm just going to use it to pick up Symphonic. And, you know, Symphonic getting, what, I think 3 kills maybe last fight, maybe just 2, gave him a shutdown. So that bounty going quickly into Aelor's pocket definitely feels bad, because this man has already gotten super strong.
Yeah, I think in order for anything to happen, we need to see a really good flank out of either the Wukong or the Yone. Onto this Vayne or Xin Zhao even, but I don't know if they're able to make it happen.
Well, they just ideally need to hope that they're able to blow up this Corky in some way, shape, or form. And that's really getting Silent Elements into the proper position to be able to deliver some follow-up damage onto a good engage from either Yone's Symphonic or Leo's Wukong here. But the positioning is just really hard to navigate because Cooper's strong. You have to deal with the Shen taunt. Thresh hooks have been on point as well. And I mean, I can see why this man gets his Blitzcrank taken away from him. These death sentences have been fantastic coming out of the bully.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, it's honestly been a game-changing hooks each and every single fight. It's just I can see why they put this person on the Thresh or on the hook champions.
Certainly. In last game, he had a little bit of an underwhelming performance with Braum, but I think mainly it was just not having to follow up with the rest of his team. But yeah, this man on Hook Champions looks completely different.
Yeah,
As,
we do see Corky picking up the 4th item. There is a lot of damage coming out of those Corky rockets now, and I don't see the front line even surviving against it.
Well, I mean, the front line has not been surviving. About 10 kills between the two of them if you subtract mags from the equation here. And yeah, DZG just hoping that they're able to get another fight like they got last time. But ideally, hoping that the gold goes into the right pockets here, right? Yone needs gold to be able to come online. He is sitting on the IE now, which is fantastic, but without a third item, he's really behind the power curve of the 4 item Corki, for sure. And
Yeah,
Silent Elements now not having access to his Rabadons, he went with the Zanya's second. But now we might see something here as the Cooper is caught up a little bit, but it'll actually be Symphonic who is not able to get into a position. Leo's in the back line trying to cause some chaos, but it's not going to be enough as Alor is now unstoppable. Down almost takes out CD Cooper, and it will be one more auto attack going over the wall. Take down Goldman, who did kill the bully, but it was not enough. Alor now going to be next one on the chopping block, and DZG trying to strike back. Leo does get the shutdown, but it will be Vayne now with a triple kill. Now you've got 2 people with the threat. Leo, the only one surviving on the side of DZG, and they got some shutdown goal, but it was not enough. As I think this will be the DCG base being broken into with Percy T and Travis surviving.
yeah. I think that team fight was a bit harder for CC than it should have. I think the channel went on to Xinjiao quite a bit early. It could have went on to someone else and saved them. I don't know. I don't know where Wukong really went from inside the J4 on the Vayne, but it does seem like the clone was able to finish off the kill onto Corki, which was really helpful for them in slowing down that push.
Back on the table now, and Drake in a minute, and that will be the soul if Collective Calamity is able to pick up that objective. And now DCG have to worry not only about those objectives being on the table, but now they have to worry about the super minions coming down that mid lane to apply another point of pressure for them to really deal with. Granted, it could be a blessing in disguise. Maybe they get some of those the minion gold in their pocket to help them catch back up, but. I feel like giving either Nash or the Infernal Soul to the side of Collective Calamity is going to be really hard for DCG to strike back against.
Yeah, I mean, all game we've been talking about, it's the Corki, it's the Xinjiao, it's the Shen. But we do see the Veigar actually picking up the Rabadons after that fight. If the Veigar can position well enough up against these three, I think that there might be a little bit more of a fight now with this
Well,
AP.
another thing to consider is no longer a single threat team. Vayne did pick up 3 kills, and that is now sitting at 4-1. Is going to be a little bit more of a menace here as these fights are going to break out. But it seems like the Drake is definitely going to be the side or the goal for the side of Collective Calamity. Fortunately for the side of DZG, package is not available, nor is it in the base for Corky to back and teleport back into this. So it's going to be a fight for position. We're going to see the dance, and holy hell, those rockets are chunky.
That wasn't even a big one. That was just a normal rocket. Unfortunately, it hits directly onto the Veigar, which is their main carry right now.
Seeing the dance here, the Drake is aggroed by the side of Collective, but they immediately back off of it. And we've seen so many fights as Corky actually went back to the base. I think he's picking up his package now, and that is
Peeking
correct.
in
We
the
see
mid
Baby
lane.
Cage come in. You have to imagine the teleport's coming in shortly after. Wukong goes to the back line, gets a knockup. Lee is sitting low, and he's actually the target. Leo, the sexy light, picks him up, but it is now going to be Corky coming to the back line, picks up Vygar, picks up Wukong. Damage not coming out onto Wukong. And Jarvan, Yone, Paul, is Max left alive, and that will be a double kill for the Vayne, a triple kill for Corky. Teleport's now being channeled into the
I
base, and
think
ladies
that
and
might be the
gentlemen, I
game.
think this is gonna be GG, and Collective Calamity takes down DZG in a reverse.
Yeah, there was some very fancy feat out of the Corki actually getting the package, TPing back in. Sees the Xinjiao dive onto his backline, but it does not matter. He immediately packages through the entirety of the backline of DZG, hitting package on all three of their backline champions, and then W's even farther back to where his teammates are. The J4 does get the ultimate, but he's just so strong. He's taking the 1v1 in melee range with the J4. He's 6 items. He wins that every single time. He gets the hourglass to make sure he doesn't die and gets a triple kill, while the Vayne and the rest of their team is just able to clean up the rest of DZG.
And I am expecting to see absolute insane damage numbers coming out of this Corki here if the charts ever do load. If not, no worries. But yeah, Corki coming in with almost 30,000 damage in that game, just doing absolute work. Silent Elements and Wukong trying to keep up here. But you know they're half the damage numbers. The two of them together could not equal the amount of damage that Alor was able to put out. And you know it's a good comeback story for Alor, whose game one looked very suspect. He was just absolutely abused by Gopamine's Nico there. But, you know, well played Collective Calamity striking back and and maintaining a good mental after that rough game 1, and honestly, a game 2 that they should have lost. So well played, Collective Calamity, and DZG Elysium. Still a lot of good things to see, especially since they're playing with a ragtag roster, right? They pulled in Arcadia's support. They have their coach playing jungle. They just picked up a new top lane. Silent Elements moving out of the support position to the AD carry. So despite that, games 1 and 2, like game 1 was dominating. Game 2, they should have won. So, hey, definitely a few things to work on. But I mean, you did that with a thrown together roster last minute. Nothing to be upset about for sure.
Yeah, I mean they did even like you said, game 1 they completely demolished. Game 2 they still went really good. They honestly should have won, but they did get cheesed in the end, and they were backdoored. That's just a little bit of a map pressure problem. We can fix that later. But game 3, I mean, they did end up losing in the long run in the team fights, and I mean they do have a lot to work on, but they did really well.
Certainly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out to another night of DZG League action. We'll be bringing you next week, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alyssa, but it will be Olympus coming in Thursday night for playoff games, if I'm not mistaken. Am I? Play-ins, not playoffs. Apologies. So catch us next Thursday as DZG Olympus will take to the Rift to do some play-in action. And also, don't forget to check out Buff for us. We are sponsored. There is a link available in the chat if you just hit !Buff. And, come help us out. We're only 2 short of our goal. Thank you once again, and have a nice night.